Today ended up with a bang. If you've been on the interweb, if you've been on social media anytime today, if you've been on YouTube anytime today, you will have heard of the interview that is now scorching social media right now, and that is yes, that's our old friend Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner's back at it, and let me say this: she is back at it with a bang. Clearly, she has been unhinged. Clearly, she has been under some sort of barbiturate slash alcoholic beverage, and it shows. It really does show, and it's really showed today. Hundreds, I wouldn't say hundreds. Well, there have been hundreds of minutes of footage being filled of Brittany Renner today, and quite simply, let's face facts. She has hit the wall. But again, we'll engage in a one-part slash maybe two-part segment of the Brittany Renner interview with that happened today on Talk Live. Starting tomorrow, we are going 3 days this week. We're going Wednesday and Thursday, and we are going hard until Labor Day. Well, until Labor Day weekend, indeed. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We are back and we are live. Sponsored by Gun Talk, DUNTALK.com, DUNTALK.com. Yes! Fall with your line out now. Now, again, I apologize for what happened last week. I saw a technical difficulty of me not being able to share my screen with my viewers last week, and we're not letting that happen again. So let me put my browser on. But I'm just checking with you. We're starting with that real early, like really early. So we got the browser on right now. How are you guys doing? I hope everything is well. I really do. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. I certainly did. Very busy weekend for me. I was shout out to all those who were at Redemption on Sunday. Redemption on Sunday was really nice. It was really cool. Saw a lot of my old friends there. If you're in the Toronto area and you know what Redemption is. You know what Redemption is. Shout out to the Bandit. Let me say this to the Bandit. The Bandit is the best promoter in this city. Maybe the best promoter ever in this city. He is raising the standard of promotion in this city. He has got the keys to the city. Shout out to my man G. Jones, but the Bandit is just killing it out here. It is killing it. He is, he has really stepped up the game in terms of presentation, in terms of promotion in this city. And shout out to the Bandit. He is doing wonderful things. If you were at Redemption this weekend and saw me this weekend, hey, all well and good. Thank you very much for shouting me out. And yes, we are back live on Talk Live tonight. And tonight is the show that we continue. We just finished off. Yes, KS, Kevin Samuels, the Godfather himself, Critic and Detreactors, then and now. We finally get this show done. We finally get it in the can. It was just way too busy this weekend, as I was saying. Redemption Sunday, Saturday, had another party it was at. Friday was on a boat ride. Shout out to all those who were on Glow, including some of my friends on Glow. You know who you are. And it was a wonderful night. It was a really cool night. Shout out to all the promoters on that the Glow boat ride. It must have been my 5th boat ride this year. I'm wow. This summer has been a really busy summer for me. One of the best summers I say in years for me. If not for Caravana, if not for a London trip, if not for all these other different boat rides and all-inclusives that I've been on this year, it has been like that. And we are coming close to Labor Day now. It is coming close to the unofficial end of the summer. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the long weekend to come, because this is the last weekend of summer, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Fall is indeed approaching us, and then swiftly after that, we have the TIFF celebration. TIFF comes to town. I know there's a writer's strike out here, so we're going to try and do it. They're going to try and do it as big as possible, but it does come with hindrances in that TIFF won't have. Well, I wouldn't have to say. Well, yeah, I could say it. Wouldn't have the usual star power that it usually does. But anyways, we are getting back to it with a nice, good and long show today on. The one day, I had to cut it short on Thursday because I was running out to my dad's birthday celebration. Shout out to my dad. Love you to death. Love you forever and back. He had his birthday celebration, so I had to jet off to that. So I had to cut it down to an hour. But today, we'll have an extended time with you tonight. Let me just straighten out my Dun Talk gear. This Dun Talk gear this year, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this. This is probably the best Dun Talk iteration of fashion. This is the Done Talk Fall Winter Season, I think it's had in its history. If you go to donetalk.com and see some of the fashions that are on display there, you'll be wowed yourself. I've seen a few of their fashions, and quite simply, it is knocking my socks off. I had to get a few of these things out there for you to see, and more will be done this as we move along in future shows, especially this week and next. You'll get a sneak preview of Done Talk Fashions here on Talk Talk Live. But we are back. We are live. And shout out to all those who shouted me this week and this weekend. It has been a fantastic summer, a very busy one, and we are back and we are live, and we are going to get into this right now. So let's go. We were not where we left off. Where we left off. Let me get back to there right now. We are on the browser. We are getting back to it. Where we left off, we had left off with Rebecca Lynn Pope. Rebecca Lynn Pope had finally started seeing the light about Kevin Samuels and his teachings. Started to finally see it. Started to understand that what Kevin Samuels was talking about all along. Previously, she had cried for the average at best lady. And she was saying she was so ill mistreated by Kevin Samuels himself, and quite simply, he thought that he was a bit heavy-handed, and it was his tone that put her off. It's always about tone, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't care if a woman doesn't care about if 1 or 1 is 2. It's about how you say it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's always about how you say it. So, even if you are telling her what needs to be said, you need to say it in the right way, or else she won't listen. So there you go. Anyways, such is the hypocrisy we have to deal with today with the modern woman. But we are back, and we realize, and we see the point where Rebecca Lynn Pope is finally coming to her senses and realizing, you know what? I've been a dating coach for the last some odd years, and I realized that, hey, what Kevin Samuels is actually starting to make sense. It's starting to come true, come to its full fruition. So that's the point we are left off with right there. Kevin Samuels is starting to permeate the mind of Rebecca Lynn Pope, especially during her experiences as a dating coach. Because remember, she is a dating coach, but she gave that up because she did not want to deal with modern women, especially black modern women, who had unrealistic expectations. And I do mean unrealistic expectations, especially if they have a certain amount of money. They want an Idris Elba, they want a Shamar Moore, they want a superstar, Damson. They want a superstar that they can call their own. They want a 6'3" guy with a 6-pack. He has to be funny and smell right and act right, do all these things, because their money is what is what made it possible. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of women don't realize that for a man, your money it just doesn't count. It literally doesn't count. There's no account for your money when it comes to the dating market, especially when it comes with a man. So we are back, and we're going to talk about it tonight here on Talk Talk Live. We are starting where we left off last week with my man Chissa Zed. Shout out to Chissa Zed. Please subscribe to Chissa Zed. He is doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Fair use, fair use, fair use. We're going to get into it right now, straight away. Thank you very much for joining us on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's do this.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of that is also what I say. To the wrong person, you're not going to get through to them unless if they're tired enough that they actually need to drink that coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Right? Until they're desperate for that caffeine in their system. Let's keep listening.
He's going to hurt your feelings all the time. I mean, literally, there's a distinct difference between marriage material, men who are ready to be husbands, and these F-boys that you've been messing around with.
By the way, I want to let you guys know that I cut these videos up, so now she's moving to a different subject, which is talking about women going after F-boys, etc.
In out of these situationships with for years. And so now you have this standard for a man and a husband based on these dudes that have just been playboys, fun, boy toys, whatever you want to call it, girls, okay? So a man comes along that is crazy about you and is interested in you, and I'm sorry to say, you have friend zoned the men that really you're compatible with, the men that would make a wonderful husband. A lot of you have friend zoned the good dude who's ready to be a husband and a father and give you some pretty babies. Because the other thing is men do not look like us. Let me be clear.
What Rebecca Lynn Probe is saying is what Kevin Samuels was saying for years. Well, he was saying way back when in the 2000s, and in 2020, in 2019, especially when he started dealing with women on his platform. And the fact of the matter is that women, modern women, especially, and I do mean especially black women, have unrealistic expectations in terms of their men. They feel, especially with the amount of money that they earn, as I've already stated, that they need to have a superstar. And a Chad and Tyrone, who is a magnate businessman overall, who commands respect from all individuals within earshot, is a freak in the bedroom and is totally devoted to them. Let's say that. They need to be totally devoted to them. They need to act right. They need to smell right. They need to have the right height. They need to have the right body weight. They need to have the right muscle content. They need to dress the right way. They need to smell the right way. All these things have to work in conjunction. He has to tell the right jokes. He has to say the right things. All these things working together. Or else you will not get any part of most of these women, especially if they have a certain income stream. And the fact of the matter is, Rebecca Lynn Pope realized that most of these women, despite their success in the work world, will usually end up alone. Because all the men who they should be dating, who they should be with, usually end up in the friend zone. They deem them beneath these women. And you don't have to add much. You don't have to earn much with most of these modern women. You don't have to earn much in terms of. You don't have to earn much in terms of being a modern woman to find these men. Most men are invisible to women. Some say 70 to 80% of men are totally invisible to women. That's why I say to you gentlemen, and it's been said ad litem on many a platform, and I'll say it to you again today. You need to earn more money, yes. You need to have a competitive salary. You need to have a competitive frame, meaning you need to be in that gym and have a certain amount of muscle content. So if all else fails, you'll at least get shagged. Number 3, you need to have a certain amount of game with these ladies. You can't be uncool around them, because if you do, especially with black women, they'll write you off. The 4th thing is that you have to have frame. So therefore, you need to have structure, or else they will run you into the poorhouse and into depression. Just saying. Shout out to MLD. Let's go.
About this.
Does this all sound familiar, guys? Let's keep listening.
Yeah.
We are the fairer sex. God created us to be beautiful, not men. You are the fairer sex.
Agreed.
You're the beautiful one. You're the gorgeous one. You're the one that men go to war over. You're the one that men literally will kill for. You're the one that they're out here trying to make all this money to impress you, to get you. Quit looking at men. Is he 6'2"? Is he look like Boris Kodjoe or Idris Elba or Michael Ealy? Do you know the percentages of men? This is what I just would die to say to my matchmaking clients and the people that would come in for consultations because they want to be matched. And they're coming to me. I'm sitting here just being a good woman. So I'm thinking these women just want men. These women just want a good man. Nah, boo, that's not what they wanted.
Right.
What they want is, if I'm going to pay this money, I want me a Michael Ealy. I want me a Boris Kodjoe.
Right.
Well, look, boo.
By the way, why she's saying if they're going to pay this money is because she dealt with think she said in the last video too, she dealt with women who...
Sorry about that, just that. Luckily for me, I have a passing resemblance for Michael Ealy. However, so. But anyways, that's besides the point. Anyways, but she's right. I'm just giving you some statistics here for just so that you can be focused in on what we're talking about here. Only 15% of men are 6 foot or taller. 15, 15% of men are 6 foot or taller. 6'2", you're talking about 3%. 3% of men around the world of 7 to 8 billion people are 6'2" or taller. Again, in the minority. To earn a high-value salary, as has been studied here on Talk to Talk Live on previous occasions, you would need in the United States at least $80,000 to $85,000. In Canada, about $100,000 to $115,000. In the UK, you're looking at about 65 to 70,000 pounds to support a family. Do you know the percentage of men or women or those around the world who earn that right now? About 10 to 20%. So that's why everybody is professing or wishing or chasing for a Chad Tyrone or a high-value man to be their own. So guess who the top 20% the Chad Tyrones have? Choice. A whole lot of it. And unless you offer the best of packages, ladies, you will be either 1, for recreational use only, or 2, alone. So it's time for you to level set yourselves or invest in cat food and wine. Just saying. Now, just so you know the future, because here's another statistic. 45% of women aged 30 to 45 will be alone without children by 2030. 2030 is 7 years away. They predict 45%, I would assume 50% of women will be single and childless by 2030 because of these lofty expectations of men. Oh, and of course the alphabet gang, you know, they have to take their piece, but it usually doesn't compare. But yet, that's what you're dealing with. Those are the statistics that remain to be seen. And that's what has dawned upon Rebecca Lynn Pope. She understands now those statistics because she realizes that women in the West have lofty expectations. Now, that last statistic is for those in the West. Those in patriarchal societies get it. They need their men. So they're making sure that they're in line for them. But for a lot of ladies, they think they can handle it alone. Do you really think you can handle it alone, ladies? Do you really think so? Do you really think it's to your psychological, physical, and familial benefit to be alone? I ask you. Chances are it isn't. That's what Rebecca Lynn Pope is warning you about. But that remains to be seen if you take up the gauntlet. That remains to be seen if you realize the woe of your ways. So, chances are most women won't. But, you know, it is for us men. Again, there is self-improvement on our side. It goes without saying, as I've already stated before, more money, more muscle, learn, game, hold frame. You need all these things. But the two most important, you got to get your money up, number one. And number two, you got to be physically capable and physically stout and available and set yourself apart from the pack to catch a woman's gaze these days. As I have. But it's up to you. Or you can look like, you know, Michael Ealy. Okay. But anyways, let's go.
who were high earners, right? So you could guess why she kind of lost it and said, F that.
Boris Kojo's married. Last time I checked, Idris Elba's taken. These men are such a small percentage of the population. Do you guys understand that for a man to be over 6'2"?
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Guys,
Never did.
She should stop effing. I'm
No.
done. She should stop effing. Pause it. I'm done. Done. So done.
They don't get it.
Less than 3% of the population.
She just said it.
And we're talking all men around the world. Less than 3% of the population. And if you add in what he...
If you don't believe me, believe Rebecca Lynn Pope. She just told you. 3% of men are 6'2" or taller. 3%. Luckily, I have 2 in this house I live in. Guess what they have? Girlfriends. You got them. You get height. Can't teach that sort of thing. It's an automatic entree into the dating market. If you're 6'2", 6 foot and above, it's an automatic entree into the dating market. Which means for you guys, you have to have a personality, charm, and body shape, and wit, dexterity, smell good, look good, dress good, and all these things together in conjunction to entrap the glance of a fair maiden. Are you on that game, gentlemen? This is my charge to you. But to you ladies, those guys in your friend zone, you better start looking at them real soon, real quick. Let's go.
looks like looking like Idris and making money like this and that. Honey, look, you looking for the come up for real because I don't know where he's at. And the biggest thing I'm going to leave you with is this, is that because most of you have never experienced the love that God has for you, God's best for you. You've never experienced the love of a husband. You've never experienced deep, true love. So you have no point of reference. All you can do in what you're doing is you're comparing these experiences to the past.
Before we go there has to be something to be said. A shout out to the people who have shown up today, including M3 Photography. Hey, shout out to my boy who I saw at Redemption this weekend. Quite the party, quite the day. Good to see you, my friend, and we'll talk soon. Again, just to let you know, women usually call out the religion because that's one of the last bastion, last area. Well, that is one of the true heirs of the gynocracy. But I asked you ladies, where are the gentlemen within the church? They've left. We've talked about that in Talk to Talk Live about 6 months to a year ago, how men have left the church because of prosperity preaching, because it's leaned toward the gynocracy, and men don't have a place there anymore. Unless you are speaking towards the gynocracy, women will shut you out, unfortunately. If you tell them the truth, then, you're seen as a Bible thumper of negative standing. Why, oh why, I don't know. But there you go. But as Rebecca Lynn Pope said, you have got to come to Jesus on this one, ladies. And that is, unless you want a man to whom you can call your own, you need to level set. You need to humble yourself. Kevin Samuels is setting that all along, but you want to dance on his grave. Dance on it. Which is beyond me. Clearly beyond me. Because, as I said, the wall's coming for all, winter's coming for you, and you're not going to like what you wait for. So, ladies, Rebecca Lynn Pope is telling you what Kevin Samuels has been telling you all along. Will you listen? This is a prominent dating coach out there out there in these YouTube streets, and she's canceled herself from being a dating coach because you ladies have unrealistic expectations in the dating market.
Okay. There's not a lot here that I disagree with, guys. So I wasn't playing any of this to show a lot of what I disagreed with. I was showing some inconsistencies with a lot of what's said about approach and people thinking that this whole thing just comes down to how much love do you have behind sharing a certain message that may be difficult for most people to have. That's not it. And the contradiction with someone like Rebecca Lynn Pope,
Fair use.
like her, is while she can admit that she understands that men don't communicate the same way women do, when a woman is on public display getting checked, forced to drink coffee, now it's time to bring out the tears and like, oh, where's the love? Where's this? Nope.
No, remember what I talked about? There's a show called Weaponizing Tears. Women do it all the time. They use their tears in order to get a man's attention, in order to get curry a man's favor, in order to get what she wants. It's a sign of narcissistic behavior. I can bring up the DSM-5 for you tomorrow, especially tomorrow. If you ever see what Brittany Renner did today, my God, please, 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 get on it. The interview is classic. Wallhood for the female, the modern woman. It is classic. A classic case. It'll be studied for years to come how this woman spiraled out of control today. Absolutely spiraled. But there were triggers, and we'll go into them tomorrow, believe me. Tomorrow there will be a show, absolutely. I cannot wait to do it. But let's go on. Let's move forward a little bit quicker. Here we go. There we go. We're getting a little further into Rebecca Lynn Pope. Finally, she's gone full Kevin Samuels now. The turnaround, the absolute metamorphosis is complete. She finally gets it. It's finally landed in her head what modern women, what Kevin Samuels has said all along about modern women. It's finally landed. It's finally set her, she's finally been set in her place. And understands what he's talking about all those years ago. All those years ago when she was crying out, why are you being so hard and angry with these women? You need to work on your tone. You need to do this and this and that. But she never really went through the experience. It took 3 years of the School of Hard Knocks for Kevin to finally set in with Rebecca Lynn Pope. And we're going to find out about it right now. In her recent interview that she did on YouTube, that Chisa Zed has so ably queued up for us. Shout out to Chisa Zed's fair use, fair use, fair use. Let's get into this. I'm sorry, I don't know what all this is about. For some reason, let me just see. Hold on a second. There we go. I thought that was going to happen. I don't know what that is. Can you get out, please? Thanks very much for coming out of here. Thanks very much. Okay, here we go. We are back. We are live. Let me see if there are any comments in the chat room. Nothing yet. Okay, they're coming in slow, but we're going to get it done. So let's do this. Yes, we are back and live with, again, Rebecca Lynn Pope, and she's finally gone full Kevin. Let's go in. Let's get into it.
But you did mention average woman, not just that particular demographic. Let's see.
Made, 6 figures and plus, who had very unrealistic opinions about men or expectations of men. But there's something deeper that I want to share, which is what guided me into doing a lot of the healing work and spiritual healing courses and work that I began to do after being a matchmaker. And that was because...
Healing work because she realizes that Jesus can't save these. And why are you trying? She needed Jesus in this point. She realized that there is no hope. The only hope is a higher power in this instance. Quite simply. She needed that touch of God to touch some of these ladies and touch her to realize, hey, wait a minute. Wait. These women can't be that delusional. These women can't be that unrealistic. But yes, they can. They'll surprise us all. The modern womanhood, the feminist movement have shaped the woman into a delusional mass which needs intervention for them to break out. And even then, there is no guarantee because the modern woman is so steeped with superiority, narcissistic complex that it's hard for her to break out of it. Many a woman can, let me say that, but a lot of women need Jesus. At this point, they do need Jesus. They need some sort of higher power to touch them in some way to let them realize that they are not the special snowflakes they think they are. especially when you have a certain amount of money and career. Let's go.
What I discovered, and ladies, this is not something that you're going to really be aware of, especially if you yourself are a very loving and kind woman. Loving and kind women tend to run in packs, just like good men tend to run in packs. It's very easy to think that most people are like you. So as a matchmaker, what I encountered in some of these women was that the surface level, they were very nice, cool, I thought of as loving, good women. And then we got into the dating portion of the matchmaking through the initial coaching, and now it's time to get into the dates. And they were triggered. All this nasty, mean girl side of them came out. And I was so confused because they...
Nasty? Mean girls? You mean those same mean and nasty girls that used to appear on Kevin's show every week? Those girls? The girls that you said needed a hand around their shoulder? Who needed to be heard? Needed to be talked to in the right way? Those girls? Those girls? That Kevin said all those years ago, Kevin said all those years ago, we're going to be the tumbleweeds on the plains, single and dying alone, for whom he played taps for on many an occasion, because they will never see the light. Those girls? Come on. For sure. No, not these girls. These girls are superhuman, aren't they? They can change on a dime. They're way superior to men in strength, intelligence, in logic. They can do it. They women can do anything. They run the world, don't they? Those girls? Let's continue.
Show up looking like nice, sweet, loving, kind women, but behind the scenes that you may not realize that who they are with men, who they are in different situations is totally different than how they're showing up with you in your friendship. So guess what? I realized there's a whole demographic of women who you may know, ladies who are listening right now, you may know and think, oh, she's so sweet, she's so nice, she's so cool, she's such a great friend. And she is a whole nightmare with men.
Those facts.
Really?
She's a nightmare to date. She's a nightmare to try to get along with.
That's true.
She's a nightmare to try to please, right? So Jess Leslie says, what triggers the switch?
You mean those ladies that are sugar and spice and everything nice? That are beyond reproach? That can't be mistaken? All these women can be wrong? They can be nasty? Brutish? Narcissistic? You don't say. You don't say.
The switch and the triggers come from trauma, rejection,
Oh.
unhealed pain, comes from childhood issues. It comes from all different types, but the end result is pain. The end result is unhealed pain. So guess what? I almost titled this video specifically towards women to say it might be you.
That's what men have been saying for centuries. See, there's one thing that men really are good at is taking accountability and being level set. Women don't get that yet because, as my man Myron said on Fresh and Fit, women live life on easy mode. They expect things to come to them. They are the pretty flowers, as Rebecca Lynn Pope has said previously. And they take that into the dating market, that they are beyond reproach, and they are, indeed, the standard to which all men must fall, even if they are fat, even if they are ill-mannered, even if they are ill-tempered, even if They are scantily clad, even if they sell themselves on OnlyFans and Instagram. They are without fail or criticism. Okay. But Rebecca Lynn Pope has had her come to Jesus moment. She realizes that women are the problem. She gets it now. Kevin has been saying this for years. Of course, men must do their work. We cannot be seen as slack-jawed gawkers, but we realize we have to do it. Life and the world shows us that unless we change, the world is a nasty, brutish place. Unless we get that muscle, unless we get that money, unless we get that game, unless we get that frame, life can be very, very negative indeed. But not ladies? Surely not. Surely they can learn from mistakes. Surely they can see the light in due course. Surely their standards are just about right. Just about right. And all the men who they don't see, those 70-80% of men, they deserve to not be seen. Clearly. Because ladies are infallible. She said to Kevin for many a year. And now even Rebecca Lynn Pope realizes that.
It might be you. You are the common denominator in your life. You may not be the type of woman that men want to marry. You may not be the type of woman that men want to marry.
Oh.
If you don't have men trying to, when they date you and do get a chance to know you, and they don't want to marry you, they don't want to be with you, you might be the problem. Because that's never been a problem in my life. And it's never been a problem for many of the women I know. And this is not for everybody. But I'm saying to the women who tend to be nasty, mean-spirited.
I'm sorry, I just read this comment underneath this video. It says, and you wonder why most hurricanes are named after women.
Just to stop there, I'm going to give you a quick cautionary tale of a lady who had all the looks and yet no man. Actually, there are two. I'll give you one. One, which is a shorter one, is Tyra Banks. One of the most beautiful ladies in the world. Alone at 50. Alone at 50. Why? Because her expectations were way too high. And she was looking for only a certain type of man. And you know what? You have to realize in being this beautiful, in being that beautiful like Tyra Banks is, because Lord knows, during the 90s and early noughties, she was one of the best looking women in the world. However, now at the age of 51, I believe 52, I mean, she's totally successful. She's a very successful lady. Let's look at the age of Tyra Banks right now. Tyra Banks, let's go. Just American TV personality. She just recently, I think she sold Dancing with the Stars recently for a good amount of money. Tyra is now 49. Oh, I was off by a year. I think Tyra Banks has children, but no man. One of the most prettiest ladies on planet Earth. No man. Why? Could it be that her lucrative career canceled out so many men, only leaving a minority, and of that minority, even they weren't good enough? Not you, Tyra. Not you, Tyra. Not this Tyra. Not that Tyra. Not this lady. Right here. Not that lady, Tyra Banks. Not her. Clearly not her. She's one of the most stunning ladies on planet Earth. Alone. Black and alone. Another lady that comes to mind just now, Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell. I think she's about 53 right now, Naomi. Let's take a look at Naomi quickly. Naomi Campbell, there she is. Naomi Campbell. Well, there's a who's who here of ladies who are still alone to this day. Heidi Klum I think she's married. Claudia Schiffer, I think she's married. Kim Kardashian, alone. There's a who's who here. Wow, I think I just pulled that up. Wow, I can't believe it. Okay, so we have Naomi Campbell, who's about 54, 5, 6, 53, even better. She's 53 years old, alone. Lofty expectations, thinking that thinking that her Prince Charming, riding in on a white steed, if you know what I mean, would come to save her. Chances are that didn't happen, so she had a kid on her own. God help that child, because she is going to unload on that child for the near future. We have Gisele Bündchen, left Tom Brady just recently, because he couldn't take his career, even though he just retired. Guess who Tom Brady is dating now? And he's about to get a $350 million contract to be a TV analyst. Yes, a younger lady. Kim Kardashian recently broke up with the genius that is Kanye West. Now, again, I don't know what happened. She had her 4 kids. You think she should have seen it through? No, she thought that she was better than everyone else, and she could take her show on the road, do all right. Pete Davidson was there, gone. Guess who she's with now? One of the more beautiful women out there in the world, alone, Tyra Banks. We just mentioned. You getting the picture? Are you getting the picture? Even the most successful women are alone in their 40s and 50s because their delusional mindset put them there. Put them right there. There are some examples for you. I just hit up Naomi Campbell, and all these ladies came up. Luckily, Rihanna has a man, but we don't know. Did he commit to him? We don't know who's running that relationship. So she could be one of these ladies. She's on her way. But of course, she could go the Beyonce way, but that remains to be seen. But these are some cautionary tales right here on your screen. Now, let's get back to it. Let's get back to Chicha Zed, the coffee pot, and Rebecca Lynn Pope's mea culpa to Kevin Samuels himself. Let's go.
Oh, man, yeah, these people are wild. Let's keep listening.
Right? Literally, constantly got an ego, projection, high standards, demanding, picky, never happy, constantly high maintenance. Everything's a problem. I saw it in my match.
See it on YouTube.
And I looked at these women and I got a totally different perspective. And that's not just black women. There are many women, white, black, Latina, who struggle to be married. Might have been married once, but listen, as they've gotten older and it gets worse and worse and worse, the attitudes get worse and worse, the entitlement, the hyper independence,
Everybody else is the issues, never looking at self. And this is what I want to be clear about. For these type of women, there is an overall lack of awareness that they are the problem. There's no personal accountability. There's no awareness. There's no work. They're not doing healing work. Because why would they want to do healing work? Why would I want to go to therapy? I'm not the problem. It's these men. These men suck, Rebecca. All these men suck. And the statistics, and they swallow up all the videos that talk about the difficulties in dating.
I would argue again and say that this is not a small sect of women. This is most women. And I don't mean just black women, Western women.
And the statistics, and they say they apply it to them as the excuse.
Let's pause that right there. I'm bouncing from place to place, but I tell you what, I need to be right here, right now. Let me say this. I need to be right here. Here's a who's who of successful ladies. Now remember, most ladies of a certain, the richest ladies in the world either got their riches from inheritance or through death. I mean, death being inheritance, or through divorce. Two reasons. All of them have. Inheritance, through death, and divorce. That's how rich women become rich. Now you have certain examples here, such as Rihanna, such as Kim Kardashian. You can even say Gisele Bündchen can say that, Naomi. All these ladies got their riches on their own, but they pale in comparison to what men have made. And usually they made it on their beauty. It wasn't made through graft, through them building a business. I'll give Rihanna a bit of credit there, and even Kim. I'll give those two. Tyra, I'll give her that credit as well. But most of these ladies made their money through their looks. And most of these ladies are now alone. Because the West has taught them to have unrealistic expectations of their men. No man could compare to them. And now they're alone. So what do they choose to do? They choose to have children under their command, to whom they will please let them be not let them be boys, because they will unload their feminist, modern female ideas on them, making them simps. Making men simps. I desperately hope there are positive male role models in their lives. Kim Kardashian, I'll say, is one. Because Kanye ain't putting up with none of these boys being soy boys. I'll tell you that right now. He won't do it. He won't do it. I guarantee that. But for the likes of Naomi Campbell, for the likes of Rihanna, for the likes of Tyra Banks, Heidi Klum, it remains to be seen what happens going on over there. It is hoped that there are positive male role models in their life, because I'll tell you one person who does not have it, and it is sorely affecting him, in that young man's life, and we'll discuss it on Talk to Talk Live either this week or next. Halle Berry. If you are seeing how she is treating that boy, you will be stunned and amazed. Stunned. She is using him as the patriarchal punching bag. She wants to eradicate any sort of male pride within him. She wants it smashed away to smithereens. It's like she's punishing all those men that she has in her life. And here's another thing. Well, she's in a relationship with Van Hunt, yes. She's in a relationship with Van Hunt right now, so at the moment she is not alone, but she's been through many men. I'll show that in Talk Live in a future broadcast. But she's had many men in her dating career. I think she's in her mid-50s right now. And some of her plans for that young man she has in her life are stunning. Quite controversial, and quite simply, the makings of a simp. The makings of a weak-natured male who will go on the internet crying and pleading to find a person. That's a guarantee. But I'll show that later on Talk Live. Let's get back to this with Kendra G. So much to talk about, so many things out there, guys. Talk Live is going to be rolling loud and proud and right at you for the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, sponsored by Done Talk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're doing it. Let's go!
And the scapegoat for why nobody wants them, or why they can't be married with a good man. Why is it not working for you? No, sis, that's not it. You're still just one person, and there's plenty of good people in the world, good men in the world, that would be able to be married to you if you didn't have an attitude problem. If you didn't have PTSD. If you weren't walking around so prideful and projecting all this ego and acting as if you're the shit.
Wow!
And nobody can even come close, that you're just lucky to even be dating me.
No.
You're lucky to even be around me.
No, stop. Rebecca, please stop. Please stop. You're killing them. Rebecca, you are raising the spirit of Kevin Samuels himself. My goodness. What a revelation. What a turnaround. As my Scottish friend would say, if Kevin Samuels was risen from the grave, he would say, take a bow, son. Take a bow. Take a bow. Wonderful revelations here. Simply stunning. I mean, look at her. Look, she is quizzical herself. How modern women are acting within the dating market, especially in the Western world. There is no cure for the modern women in the Western world, especially in the dating market. It is simply terrible. And you know what affects the most? Black women. The least married women on planet Earth are Western, modern black women. Only a quarter are married. 1/4. And the numbers are dwindling. They're falling. Staggeringly so. Don't be surprised if you see within 10 years that number fall to 20%, maybe even 15%. Because as I've always said, black women go to university to show they don't need a man. All the races show they want a man and they're trying to find one. Black women are the only ones who go to university asking how they could do without one. Not to say that most black women, there are a lot of black women, I wouldn't say most, a lot of black women try to find one, but for the most part they don't. They try to show their independence. It is there they show their independent streak. And it leaves Rebecca Lynn Pope with a look just like this. How? When you're at your sexual peak, can you consider being alone? Where the Holy Trinity is youth, beauty, and fertility, you choose to throw that all away for a career. Stunning, really. But Rebecca Lynn Pope stands quizzically here because she's seen the light. She understands what Kevin's talking about all these years. She understands now. She gets it. She's had her as the paragon of the women's movement and feminism everywhere. Oprah Winfrey has said she's had her aha moment. Remember? This is her aha moment. She realized, oh, Jesus. Kevin was right all along. Yeah, he was. He told you that 3 years ago. But you were worried about his tone. Remember? Yeah, we remember.
Oh, because I'm the ish. And then all of the work that goes into the posturing. So degrees and titles and cars and houses and money. I had 2 clients, a doctor and a lawyer. back when I was matchmaking. Couldn't beg, borrow, or steal a man to commit to them. They weren't ugly. They weren't ugly. We know that men will tolerate a lot of ish from gorgeous women. A lot of ish. Men will tolerate, let me say it again and slow down. Men will tolerate a lot from beautiful women. But if you're average and you're not drop dead gorgeous, I've said it before. What's drop dead gorgeous?
Wait. Stop it right there. What did she say? What did she say? She just said, if you're average. You mean average at best? I wonder who coined that phrase. I wonder. Wait a minute. Do you mean it's this guy? I think it's this guy. Wait for it. Wait. I need to hear this for myself. I really do. I really need to hear this for myself. Kevin, please speak from your heavenly place what most modern women are in the dating marketplace. Please let us know.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. They will even. Should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring. I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer.
Wait for it. I gotta catch
That's when I
this.
sat up.
Here we go. That's the one right there.
I said, "Where's the father?"
Well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
All right, so let me go ahead and take this down, ma'am. Men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options, and typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons who are used to dating men. This doesn't sound appealing to the kind of man you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was thinking once I start booking session with you that
I can't change men.
3 years ago.
I know, but I can approve myself, and I feel like I have a lot to offer to those type of men.
Okay, but see, you should have stopped right there. I just told you I cannot change men, and you said once I book a session with you, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm telling you what they want, and you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year and booking your...
Okay, ma'am, but okay. 35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's in the top 10% of earners who women across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer. I feel like...
Would you want your son to... If you had a son making that kind of money...
Okay, he goes on a little bit on this, but hold on. We're going to catch that. We got to catch that phrase.
Arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
men that you are not related to.
Not on a personal level.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want them. Ma'am, I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And stop right there, breathe and digest. No. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. Off rip. If you do see them, they got them They got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
There it is. There it is. You're average looking at best. At the 1539 mark, RIP Kevin Samuels, fair use, fair use, fair use. At the 1539 mark, dating in the black community changed forever. Forever. But the ladies were soon on the uptake now. Follow that 3 years from now. Here we go. I knew I'd catch it sometime. Follow that 3 years later. And look at what Rebecca Lynn Pope, who was crying for that same lady. Welcome back to Talk Live. Songs about Done Talk. You know the deal. Who was crying for that lady. Look what she says in retort. 3 years later, after the tears, after the representation, after the protestations, listen to what she has to say.
Men will tolerate, let me say it again and slow down. Men will tolerate a lot from beautiful women. But if you're average and you're not drop dead gorgeous, I've said it before. What's drop dead gorgeous? Face and body.
That's not very nice. Where is the love? Keep listening.
That does it for him. If you're not drop dead gorgeous and you're looking at other people and comparing situations to drop dead gorgeous women who got men tolerating their BS, because men are so visible.
But they all think they're 10s. They all think they're 10s. They all think.
He's right. Thank you, Jesus said. They all think they're 10s. You've heard it all through social media, all on the TikToks, all on the Instagrams. All women are 10s. Regardless of shape, regardless of size, regardless of attitude, regardless of looks, they're all 10s. Because it's an attitude, it's a mindset. When life and their experiences tell them different. But they're all 10s, right? Rebecca Lynn Pope finally realizes that most women are average. Regardless of how much you earn, how you look, how much you weigh, you're not 10s. Ladies. You're not 10s. Just like most men aren't 10s. It's going to take you to come to the table and say, you know what? I don't want to die alone. How can we broker a deal? Because men have always been there. It's you have pulled away. The modern Western woman have pulled away, thinking that their sexual access will let them allow them to obtain a man. And a man of high standing at that. Well, that's never been the case. Through human history, it's never been the case. Just trying to level set you. Just like Rebecca Lynn Pope is doing now. Chisa, please continue.
I think they would be mad at her for this. Because most women...
You can't tell a woman she's average. No, let me stop that right there. You cannot tell a woman she's average. That is sacrilege. The church doesn't tell that. Women are average. The gynocracy doesn't tell women that they're average. Modern media, pop culture, don't tell women they're average. But you know what does? Life. Life tells women they're average. They don't see the signs, though. And it takes someone like, hopefully, Rebecca Lynn Pope to show them the way. But even then, they're in rapture with such delusion. Such delusion. That they totally shut that out. Because they think they're special snowflakes. But as Kevin said all along, winter's coming. And you will see where your choices will leave you. And hopefully you'll have son husbands to help you out, because the men aren't coming. The men who don't share your bloodline are not coming. They're not coming for you. Now, if you get the message, hopefully you do. But if you don't, that's all she wrote. It's up to you, gentlemen, to realize that these ladies are desperate these days. They're desperate. They realize the walls are closing in. They realize their eggs are shriveling up. By 30, 90% of them are gone. By 35, 95% of them are gone. By 40, it's IVF or nothing. For the most part. Because they spent all their money at the casino and came up craps.
How many times do we have to have the same conversation?
Rate more for those visuals, but still not be happy. The type of women that men truly want to be married to are beautiful women who are also kind, who have boundaries and backbone, but are not mean girls. They want some peace. They want peace in their day-to-day life. It's fine for you to have backbone. It's fine for you to have boundaries. That's what healthy people have. But to deal with BS constantly, up and down every day, don't know what you're going to deal with today, tomorrow, ups and downs and craziness, and she's triggered by this, and now she's mad at you over something that happened to her when she was 6, and all over the place. But then you're wondering why nobody wants to marry you. Shoot, your friends barely tolerate you.
Yeah.
If you're really transparent with your friends aren't even honest with you. Because they catch on to the mean girl stuff. They catch on to the attitudes and the posturing and the ego, because you know I'm the shit girl. Because you know me, I get it done. You know I handle my business. You know. And they're looking at you like, yeah, but you're pretty difficult. And I have to take you in doses. You think a man is going to lay down, wake up, deal with you in day-to-day life? If he can't enjoy his days, if it's constantly crazy, and you
Stop! Thank you, Rebecca, for bringing that to our attention. First off, just finish off what she just said there. Men don't want to come home to themselves. Meaning a combative, masculine, aggressive woman. A woman must be his peace. He has fought the world. He has slain a dragon. He doesn't want to come home and find a dragon at home. Let me say that again. He does not want to come home and find the dragon. He's fought so hard to create the life to which you are accustomed. He doesn't want to come home and confront a woman. And when you say, oh, he doesn't want to deal with a strong woman, he can't handle me, we don't want to handle you. You shouldn't be handled. You should be able to handle yourself. That's what being adult is all about. Being able to handle yourself. Being able to have a certain amount of decorum and composure. To realizing you must be your man's peace. Because there are 3 things all men want in life from their woman. Sex, sandwich, silence. I'll repeat those 3 things again. Sex, sandwiches, especially after a long day, in silence. If you hold that holy trinity dear, ladies, the world can be yours. And generational wealth at that. But I'll let Rebecca Lynn Pope finish, because listen, she is not finished on the pulpit. She is getting it now. It's finally sunk in. And Lord knows we are so happy that it has.
Constantly making him feel like he's not as good as you. Constantly throwing stuff in his face that he's not performing on your level, or he needs to get on your level, or he's not. And guess what? Guess who's guilty of this the most? Super high achieving, successful women who get a little money and it goes to their head.
Really?
And they
Wow.
think that their shit don't stink.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And they think that men are going to put up with them being brats because they think they bring all this to the table.
Being bratish, is that akin to being a child? Just thinking aloud. I continue.
And men don't care about that. So now your money, your car, your house, whatever it is you've accomplished materialistically, whatever it is you think that you bring to the table with your titles, your money, and all of that, he'll still leave. He'll still walk.
He'll still walk. You're absolutely right, because as has been seen on the 90 Day Fiancé, let's get there, full of facts, data, statistics, we have a lady here. All the money in the world, all success in the world. The man doesn't want to do. Let's play that clip again. Let's go back to the beginning. She has a medical practice, and she's a practicing lawyer. She has hundreds of thousands of dollars she pulls in a year. This woman. And she's gorgeous. She is drop dead gorgeous. But guess what this man has told her? Can't deal with it. Can't deal with you. I'd rather be here, and this is in the milieu of Puerto Rico. I'd rather be in Puerto Rico with my own women who realize I'm a man and I need to be respected. They're going to add to my status. They're going to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, and all those things a man want. I'd rather deal with a woman with no money than you. Even though you can offer me a better life, you'll put me in hell. Let's listen.
¿Qué es lo que tú quieres?
What do I want?
Mm-hmm.
I just want a normal relationship where my partner wants to spend time with me when I'm visiting from another country. And we haven't even seen each other for several months. And you're making me feel like I have to beg you to spend time with you. That's up.
Did you hear the masculinity in her voice? I did. Watch how she finishes this. Oh, it's classic. Come. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Bueno, honestamente, yo no estoy pasando tiempo contigo porque tú eres una persona que me vive tirando muchas cosas en cara. Tu éxito y ese tipo de cosas. A mí no me gusta eso. Honestamente, a mí no me gusta eso. Después que salimos de Santo Domingo, yo tuve como que si todo estaba bien. Pero después que llegué al hotel, yo no aguanté y le dije que me iba a ir de ahí. Pues yo estaba incómodo. Cosas cambiaron.
What he just said there is so very true, and that is this. He came home to a dragon. And he didn't want to be there. He said, simply put, I'd rather deal with things on my own than come home to you every day, because you're going to make my life a living hell. You're going to stress me out. You're going to make things absolutely depressing for me. Even though you are gorgeous, even though you are successful, even though you're fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, you are not. And I'd rather not deal with that. I don't care how much money you have. And that's the one thing women don't realize in the modern world. Men don't need your money. That is not the end all and be all. We will get a woman from Burger King who is 19 years old with no money as long as he can bring him peace. Elevate his status. Be a woman that he can mold into his wife.
Cuando fuimos donde mi mamá, dije que el baño esto, que el baño lo otro, el baño sí realmente estaba limpio. Todo empezó desde ahí, porque siempre te ponen por encima de lo demás. O sea, tú eres un ser humano, igual que todo el mundo.
Guess what she said? That's right. He insulted. She walked into his home, his place, his mother's house, who she cleaned for him. She insulted him and his mother by doing that. He said, this is dirty, this is this is that, criticizing. And all she has is an eye roll and an eyelash flip. How insulting is that? You insult the man's mother, but you don't care because they are beneath you. They should be subservient to you. Man said, no. No mas, no mas, no mas. Go to wherever you want to be. April is April and Valentine. Go to where you want to be because you can't be around me. You're vexatious. You're a dragon at home. Your masculinity is there for all to see. And for her to be chasing him down just shows it.
La persona que yo conocí en ese gimnasio, yo pensé que iba a ser diferente, hasta que se volvió una relación real. Tú tienes que saber que yo soy un hombre y soy adulto, y tú estás en mi país.
So you're telling me that you haven't come around for all this time because I made...
Listen to the attitude. This is not a woman who's a shrinking violet. This is not a woman speaking from a feminine aspect. This is a woman with a lot of masculinity in her. Very aggressive in her speech. Watch. People must bow down to her. She will not bow down to anybody. As good as she looks. Let's go. Unwilling to work with anyone.
Man, and you didn't have the dignity to come to me like a man and tell me what the problem was. Instead, you chose to disappear and allow me to waste my money and be by myself.
Using money as a whipping tool against a man because he doesn't make enough, so therefore he's less of a man. That's why they always say, guys, never marry a woman who makes more than you, because chances are, if you don't make it within a timely fashion, they'll get rid of you because they think women will think they're worth more. That's the hypergamy in them. Men don't need money, women do. They want a man who's earning as much as them, if not more. And if they don't, they'll laud it over your head. They will criticize you for it. They will make you regret it. That's part of a narcissistic behavior. But men are the narcissists, right?
Soy el hombre en la relación. ¿Tú crees que tú me puedes controlar a mí? No es así. A mí no me interesa el dinero.
He just said it himself. You think you can control me with your money. That is not the case. You think you can come here and dictate terms. That will never be the case. So he said to her, tell your story walking. Doesn't need his money. Because he lives in the land of patriarchal, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive women. Yes, this lady looks good, but her attitude doesn't. That's why black women usually, I'm sorry to say, can't take their shows on the road because they have an arrogant attitude that they take all around the world. Guess what? It usually gets them into trouble. We just talked about the trucker in Dubai, didn't we? What happened to her? Ended up in the Dubai jail because of her mouth. And she's about to be put out of a relationship because of her mouth.
For the last 6-7 months, you have asked me for money. And I've tried to support you in the best way that I can.
Dime qué cantidad de dinero que tengo que devolvértelo y te lo voy a devolver. Dime cuánto que...
Again, women will take money and hold it over your head. If you're not the breadwinner, women will take that money and hold it over your head. Why? You're supposed to be paying all the bills, even though they owe more than you. Even though they earn more than you, you're supposed to be taking care of the bills. You're supposed to be taking care of the profits. And in her case, there's only 1% of men who could do it. So even though he earns as much as he does, she's still punishing with it. It's Modern Women 101. Here it is. If you ever get to see 90 Day Fiance with April and Valentin, shout out to my Dominican bro. I thought he was from Puerto Rico, but he's from Santo Domingo. He's from Dominica. Please watch it. It's a example of modern dating with modern women. If you don't earn enough, they'll hold it over your head. And guess what he said? He said, you know what? All that money you paid me, I'll pay it back as long as I have peace of mind. Give me peace. I don't need this stress. And he's absolutely right. It's true. It's absolutely correct.
Que tú necesitas, que te lo voy a devolver.
If that's what you think this is about, then I think you're still confused on the bigger problem.
No.
Confundida está.
She wants to win the argument, so guess what she did? She took a little slash at him because of his earning potential. That's what women do. They fight dirty. They fight dirty. Especially when their emotions are involved. They get dirty. Just saying.
Tu corazón, porque a pesar de que yo soy dominicano, tú piensas que yo no puedo conseguir esa cantidad de dinero. Al contrario, el dominicano trabaja muchísimo más pesado que los gringos. ¿Tú no lo sabías eso?
The f is a gringo?
Tú eres gringa.
A gringa.
You out of your mother.
See? There you go. And how does she do? She walks off, snatches her phone, masculine attitude in tow. You're out of your effing mind. How dare you insult me? How dare you put me in my place? How dare you talk to me like I'm a man? But if you're showing masculine traits, how do you expect to be spoken to? Thank you, TLC. But this is what Rebecca Lynn Pope was talking about all along. Attitudes as such, especially from women who earn a lot, showing a delusion level that is unmatched in the entire planet. And if you dare challenge them, they'll play dirty, just like that. They'll fight emotional. Unfortunately, a man has to stand his ground and say, hey, I'm not taking it anymore. If you want to go your way. But I don't need this. And this is why Rebecca Lynn Pope has finally dawned upon her what Kevin and Samuels has been talking about all this time. Play.
Walk away, which is the very thing that you're afraid of because you've got all kinds of pain from childhood issues of rejection and abandonment. So this is what I come to say. Therapy. You need therapy.
Therapy. Who advocated for therapy those few years ago? And they call them crazy. The black woman don't need therapy. All that you need is Jesus. From a licensed clinician, Kevin Samuels told black women they need therapy. The black women laughed at him and said all they need is Jesus and the church and some echo chamber to which will let them know that they are in the right all along. Now a woman's telling them that. And you know what she caught hell. Serious hell. For saying what needs to be said. But such is the end result when you go against the gynocracy in modern womanhood.
Therapy.
All right, guys, there you go. She encourages therapy. And like I said, there's not much I disagree with what Rebecca Lynn Pope actually has to say, other than the.
And neither do I. And I thank you very much for Chisa Zed for coming out now and telling it like it is. Signed to Chisa Zed, fair use, fair use, fair use. He is doing wonderful things in his YouTube streets, and he is to be commended. A wonderful take on Rebecca Lynn Pope coming full circle, and I do mean full circle, in her attitude with modern womanhood and in the dating market. She finally sees what Kevin saw way back when she cried that Kevin was so harsh with a certain average at best lady. Now we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come full circle with one more lady, and that is Kendra G. The singles lady, yes indeed. The one who's doing very well in these on the Instagram streets. But even she had to come to Jesus moment. Even she realized that boss babes and boss chicks have got the tail before the horse. A bit backwards when it comes to modern day. And we have our man, Media Man. Shout out to Media Man. Fair use, fair use, fair use with Media Man. He is doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. And again, shout out to him. His content is absolutely amazing. I think he's one of the guys on the rise in terms of the YouTube space. And a lot of the views I totally agree with. But he has this video. Kendra G admits that Kevin Samuels was right. Sort of. It took 3 years for her to understand. I couldn't have put it better myself. Shout out to Mr. Media Man for putting it out there as such. And we're going to get into it right now on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to get into what Media Man had to say right now. Let's go.
Hopefully they get it and they acknowledge it and they move on. I never expect our women to go publicly and say, you know what? I listened to this black man and he was right. No. So Kendra G acknowledging what she did, it was amazing to see. And you know what? She got a lot of pushback on her Facebook page. She posted it on her Instagram page. Women ate her up. And also on TikTok. Kendra G has a TikTok page. And you know what happened to that video? The sound got removed because I guess people were reporting it or something like that because she was telling the truth. And a lot of guys acknowledged her for that. And a lot of the guys were telling her, man, just please say, you know, that, yo, Kevin Samuels was right. But in Kendra G fashion, she's never going to do that. She actually has a comment that I snagged, and I'm going to show it to you guys after we go through this video. But what I did, I put in 2 important clips from Kevin Samuels from Kendra G's breakdown. So if you guys have not seen what Kendra G said, let me show you.
Let's stop that right there. Just quickly, just as a quick synopsis. Kendra G finally realized and came to terms that Kevin Samuels was right all along, but would a modern woman let a modern man realize that he was right all along? No, because accountability is kryptonite to a woman. She got so much mess and flack for what she finally said, and she finally came full circle, but the modern woman will not admit guilt. They will not admit their wrongdoing. So, again, she had to turn the sound off. She had to do every sort of thing so that she could eliminate all the negativity she caught from this video. But one thing that was for sure, and Media Man caught on to this, is that Kendra G finally understood what Kevin was talking about all those years ago. Let's get into it. Because we're first going to see how Kendra G and her boss babe mentality first treated Kevin Samuels when she was on his show, because she needed views, so she tried to get on Kevin's show in order to attract those views, and so she can go against him. And in doing that, in doing so, she came to the realization that they were at polar opposites at this time, and that it would take trial and error and life experience for her to get the point. Let's go.
Because if I had a drone follow me every day, when I go out into Atlanta or around this country, how many men will come and say from high school to on walkers saying thank you. Thank you for telling the truth. Thank you for saying what I can't say. Every day, dozens of men. Can I take a picture with you? Thank you for telling the truth. I'm so glad. So it ain't what Kevin is saying. You see, the problem is so many women are focusing on the messenger, the tone, or whatever. You're losing the fact that you're finally getting some accurate information that ain't telling you don't forget your crown, you're a queen, and all this other kind of stuff. Because all those people want to sell your books, sell your dream. When you talk about leaving hopeless, I think many women who bought this bullshit that these men have been selling and then turn around and find out they're cheap just like everybody else, and ain't the men they say, then they should feel hopeless. At least I'm telling you 2 + 2 is 4. Make a decision what you want, 2, 2, or 4.
Bang! From the grave come such revelations, come absolute genius. There's nothing else can be said about it. Comes enlightenment that it would take a full 3 years for only a fraction of women to get, including Kendra G. That's why I say I'm so very saddened at the fact that Kevin passed away, because he was finally reaching them. He's starting to tap into them. They're finally starting to get the message, and then he was passed away. Conspiracy theories aside, Kevin did his work on planet Earth, though. And from that, we have men like media men, you have men such as myself who have taken up the mantelpiece and are moving forward. But as Kevin said, Kevin tried to tell you the truth, but you'd rather hear it from a Derek Jackson who's cheating on his wife, ad litem. You'd rather hear it from Steve Harvey, act like a woman, think like a man, who has recently been cheated on by his wife. And you get it from Umar Johnson, who call you queens and mothers of the earth and all the good things under the sun, when a lot of you don't deserve those titles. I would say a minority of women do, but most don't. Most women don't achieve sainthood like that. They don't. They don't achieve royalty like that. They don't. But Kendra G was again in her boss babe, modern female mindset. And it took her 3 years to come to certain conclusions. What we'll find out about right now.
Man, Kevin was, he was surgical with it. He was surgical. And he basically was talking about Derek Jackson with his book, Don't Forget Your Crown. He said, look, you're going to have to acknowledge this truth. And sometimes it may be an uncomfortable truth. And he was trying to explain that to Kendra G, but she just didn't understand at that time. Give her 3 years, which she's had now.
3 years.
And now she came back to the table, and she's ready to set the record straight. And it was amazing.
Remember, 3 years it took Rebecca Lynn Pope to get the message. Now it's 3 years again, and Kendra G's getting the message. See, women have to go through a certain amount of education. Bachelor's degree of education to get the message. And even then, they'll still be vilified. Because you can't break the female code now. Can't do it. Because if you do, well, the gynocracy will be totally upset at you. Very, very, very besotted with you. Very, very angry at you. Not besotted, angry. That you are giving away the game. And it is superiority and not equality. Let's go.
Amazing to see. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we go.
Ooh, child, some women are mad at me because I said that women keep focusing on tall, dark, and handsome, 6 figures, and they're passing up the good guy, the nice guy that wants to take you out. Why should we have to settle, Kendra? We should have somebody on our level. Well, let me share with you guys some data. Information that I can confirm from hosting a dating show for the last 3 years. Okay, so every night I might get 100 single women who are looking for a relationship. Most of these women want committed relationships. Out of those 100 women, I may get 10 men. So let's just start right there. If I have 100 single women and 10 men, automatically every woman is not going to get a man. Just from that right there, okay? There's not.
Just real quick. Doesn't that sound familiar? Didn't Kevin Samuels try to explain that night in and night out?
Enough. Now, out of the 100 women, let's say out of those 10 men, there's only really 2 men that the 100 women really want to date. Okay.
What did we talk about before? Women deem 80% of men as unattractive or not good enough, which is well they're in the right to do so. The only thing is, are they within the right to say that, especially if they're of an average level of woman? Probably not. And guess what? That usually allows them to end up alone and be part of that 45% of women by 2030 who are age, I think 25 to 35, who will be alone in the modern world. Be it black, be it white, be it anyone. Especially black women, who are the lowest married women on the planet of marrying age. Not good statistics, are they?
Okay, so now.
That's the 80-20 rule that a lot of guys have echoed in these spaces, right? 80% of the women want the top 20% of the men. And she's basically saying what these male-centric spaces have been saying for the past 5-6 years. You can even go back further than that.
Now we have 100 women with 2 men. Right there, every woman is not going to get a man. Now, this man is living in heaven. It's 2 men and 100 women want to date him. What is he going to do? He's going to pick and choose because he can. He has the options to do so.
Gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough. It is imperative on you, if you cannot be a Chad or Tyrone or be a top 10 to 50% of earners, get as close as possible. And I mean as close as possible. Not just in terms of finances, but also in terms of your fitness, in terms of your game, and in terms of your frame. Get as close to it as possible. Because if you don't, you'll be left languishing. There are so many men that go unheralded, that go unspoken of, who are single and alone on their computer, tapped into porn, and checked out. Because they are unwilling to fight. Because they're not 6 feet tall. Because they don't have the gift of gab. Because they don't smell right. Because they don't look right. Because they don't have the attributes necessary for women, most women, to consider them serious candidates for a relationship. They checked out. And even if you are a passport bro, if you are not living up to those tenets of more money, more muscle, learn, game, hold, frame, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take advantage of you too. Anyone in foreign lands. You must be as best a person, a best a male possible. Your job is constant improvement. Constant. You must be doing whatever it takes to make you more eligible. Because if you don't have the money, at least you have the body set to attract females. That's what I've learned over the years. I mean, I earn a good salary, yes. But with my body, it enhances things. Now I'm available for more choice. Even though I'm not exactly a Tyrone. Okay, you have a Michael Ealing passing resemblance, as I've already stated. However, you want to be as best a man as possible because that sets you apart from the pack. You don't want to be a sub 5. You want to be in that top 10% of men in that 80% bracket that women don't see. You must set yourself apart from the rest. And don't depend on dating apps. They're the worst things. You must learn how to have the gift of gab. That will never fail you in any dating market.
I would say if a woman has, I don't have any kids, but if a woman has children, and if she's a certain age, and you feel like there's no man out there for her, then what is she?
So this is the part where she's talking about the single mothers. I myself, I've broken down the statistics, the numbers, what they're facing ad nauseum. I have a video recently that I put out that did very well. It's one of my best performing videos because I got both men and women saying that this guy is not lying. This is what's happening with single mothers on the dating market. It doesn't help single mothers to have a bad attitude and you already got kids in tow. You really think that a guy is going to take on that task of taking care of you, your kids, and your bad attitude, and potentially you being overweight? You have to be better. I've said that multiple times. Now, this is the part where Kevin Samuels tried to explain to her, and then you're going to listen to Kendra G explain what she has learned over the past 3 years with her largest demographic, which is something that I told you guys. I put together a compilation of single mothers from Kendra G's show. She said it herself. Listen to what she says. Her largest demographic on her show is single mothers. So let's continue.
And you know why, don't you? Because women would rather deal with the feels than deal with the reals. They're horrible vetters of men. Horrible. For the most part. A lot of women have it together. A lot of women don't choose the winners. And they're left single and alone. Because how they felt that night. Or nights. And guess what? They're usually left alone. Unless you have a safety net, to which I know a few women in my life have, you're in trouble. You're in deep trouble. So it's up to these single women to work on the soft skills. And I mean the soft skills. You gotta have better. You gotta be able to have better sex. You gotta be able to have make better sandwiches. You need to have the best silence, because your competition are younger, maybe more beautiful, and more fertile than you are. Whose kids. And they have no kids to which are attached to their name. You have to be that much better, ladies. I'm not kidding. I cannot say this enough. You have to be better than your younger counterparts. Because if you're not, you're in. Buy a dog, die alone, as Kevin would say.
If I tell a woman what the statistics are, and what the men, and if I tell you what the men are saying.
Now let's move on to the number one demographic on my show, which happens to be single moms. Single moms that are now looking for a different type of guy than their child's father. Because a lot of women, they usually focus on the outward characteristics. He was taught.
Hold on. Remember what Kevin said all those years ago. As I catch Kendra G mid-blink. Hold on, let me see if there are any comments in the chat here. We're good? Okay. Remember, let's get back to it. Remember what Kevin was saying. Being a single father in the modern day is a bad deal. Because those kids are not yours. And in the animal kingdom, those offspring are usually kicked out of the nest or are eaten. So for ladies out there, modern men such as myself, I have no kids myself, we see your children as bills, unfortunately. And they're blessings to you, but are they to modern men? No, they're not blessings to us. Because we can be in trouble with baby fathers. We would have to still pay for any bills allotted to these children if there is a marriage resulting. All of which we will get no recompense. And that's a certainty. Sooner or later, you'll have to pay these kids' bills. There's no getting away around it. So a lot of men, such as myself, in terms of a serious relationship, I'd rather not deal with a woman with children. Unless she is extra special at these soft skills. My most successful relationship was one with children. However, since I couldn't have my own, I had to leave it alone. But she's still a great friend in my life. However, that's what it came down to. And let's let Kendra G continue.
Oh, he was attractive. He had swag. He had money. I had a baby by him. Now they're realizing the outward characteristics do not matter. It's the inward characteristics that matter most when it comes to a relationship. So now the single moms are more focusing on the inner characteristics. And they're looking for this guy, the good guy, the nice guy, who may not have all the outwardly attributes, but now they realize that's what's most important because they have children and they want someone that's going to be in the home and help them raise their kids by the guy that had the big penis and that was tall and that doesn't want to be in a relationship, who would never want to be in a relationship if they were to be honest.
So stop right there. What this comes down to, quite simply, is that most modern women, especially when they had kids, they want a cleanup crew. They want a man who can wipe away all of their mistakes. All their young and dumb choices. They want a man to come in and wipe the slate clean. I call them the cleanup crew. They want a man to come in, help them raise these kids, help me with these babies. And make my life easier in the process. Because Lord knows, you being a single mother who've had to go out and work and still put food on the table and still try to raise these kids in a proper way, it takes work. It takes a whole lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication, time, effort. And so you need help. Remember what we said before. The best types of parents out there are either two-parent families or single fathers. Because with single fathers, you're at least going to get the discipline and the responsibility and the financial wherewithal, for the most part, in order to deal with children. And, as they say, single fathers keep women off the pole and men out of jail. 80% of men who are in jail come from single mother homes. Let me say that again. 80% of men who are in jail, who are incarcerated, come from single mother homes. Because the gentlemen, the fathers in their lives are allowed to instill discipline, respect, and a sense of dread. Doing the wrong thing will come with repercussions. So that's why I say to ladies everywhere, if I'm going to have children, I'm going to be in the home. Hell, Kanye said that. Even though Kim had all the money and he moved next door to Kim. I don't know what the situation is now, but he moved next door and making sure that these kids were well taken care of. So for you ladies, going back to it, coming full circle, you want a man who's a cleanup guy. You want the cleanup crew. You want the guy to wash all the sins away from men who are deadbeats. Those guys in your friend zone, oh, now you want them now. But I'm not a friend zone. Just letting you know.
All right. You hear what she just said? She just learned the issues that single mothers face on the dating market. And it's funny that it took 3 years for her to come forward and say that, because I was able to do that compilation of women on her show, like I want to say almost a year ago, where I started to notice a trend. There were a lot of single mothers, and particularly black single mothers, that came on there and they had this attitude that, yes, my kids don't matter. And there was literally one woman recently that came on her show and she did not get it. I believe this woman had three to five kids. And Kendra G, she was trying to explain to this woman, if you get a husband, if a husband signs on to take care of you and your 3 to 5 children, if he buys a pizza, that means that pizza just belongs to him. He doesn't split it between you and your kids, because you ain't got to worry about your kids, because this is what this woman was saying.
So what would you say to the guy that is concerned because you do have 4 kids by 4 different men and 1 child, 2 of your children are under 5?
This is a travesty. This is a woman who lacks. If you're watching on Talk Live, please do. This is a woman who lacks any sort of ethics, any sort of discipline, any sort of focus, any sort of restraint necessary to live in this world. This is a... Let's just continue.
Yes. So what'd you say to a man that might be concerned about that?
Why would they be concerned? That's what I'm trying to say. Why would they be concerned? It's like, if they like you,
this is a desperate woman. Listen to a desperate woman. Hear her.
Kind of mean just describe any man that is a provider that knows he has to take care of things.
No, he ain't got to take care of my kids. I'm just like family man, like we go out and do something with the kids or something like that, you know?
I think this is where a lot of women are missing the mark. Do you want to get married one day?
Yeah, I would get married.
But in my estimation, this woman who's come from a serious amount of dysfunction in her family. She carries on tradition. This is a traditional dyed-in-the-wool single mother. She came from a single mother. Maybe her grandmother's a single mother. This is a seriously dysfunctional woman, and she doesn't care as long as a man can. She is desperate for a man to come in and help her with these babies. Be the cleanup crew that she needs. That's what this woman is. And men would be fair enough to stay far away from her, because this woman has to be a porn star, literally in the bedroom. A gourmet 5-star chef in the kitchen. And give him the silence he needs in addition to a change of attitude for anyone to even think, and I mean think, of being with her. Because chances are slim and none that any man comes to her rescue.
Y'all live in separate houses.
No, I said we can do either way, you know.
So you're open to getting married to a man, but he lives in a different house than you?
No, it's either way. He can either stay in his own house, or he can come stay with me. I could come stay with him. It don't matter.
But you guys will all live together, correct?
Yes, I will live with him.
Okay.
So I lived with a guy before.
Right, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is when you move in with a guy, you move in also with your 4 children. So a man has to be able to provide for you and 4 other people. That's 5 people.
No, I have to take care of me and my own kids. He just got to provide for himself.
If he lives with you in the house, he's going to be providing for you. You have to have a certain house.
We can go half and half.
See what I told y'all? We can go half and half. The truth finally comes out. It had to come out sometime. The truth finally comes out. Yes, you are paying for these babies from 4 different men. And Lord help you if you think that you are in the clear with these 4 babies, because chances are these kids may not like you. They may hate you. And they'll tell their daddies, oh, he's looking at me strange, or he's touched me in a certain way. And guess what? Put you in the absolute. I would stay away from this woman if I had a barge pole. I keep my distance from this lady, or ladies like this. Because the amount of trouble this woman can land you in, the amount of financial ruin this woman can put you in, is monumental. The red flags are there to be seen. And at the end of the day, Kendra G is finally starting to realize what Kevin said all along. Being a single father is a thankless job. Because you're forced to be a cleanup crew to a bunch of rugrats that are out of control. And depending on things, they can end up anywhere. They could be the President of the United States, or they can end their ass out in jail. Anything's possible. And this is where logic comes in. You have to realize, you have to weigh the options up and say, hey, is it a good move or bad move? And chances are it's a bad move.
I know you think you have all the answers, but just hear me out so you can understand the things
She's starting to think now. Oh, Kevin told me this years ago.
If he wants to go on vacation, it's not just you and him. It's you and 4 other people.
No,
That's 4
get a babysitter.
So you got to answer for everything. So you really honestly don't understand how a man would have to adjust for your children.
You know who had an answer for everything too? You know who had an answer for everything too? For everything that Kevin said, black women had answers. All women had answers. They had the answer to everything. And now Kendra G starting to get it. Starting to sink into the consciousness. All that Kevin said all along was right.
You don't get that.
No, I don't get that.
And this is actually the problem. This is the problem right here, that women are not understanding. Listen, your kids are a blessing, so I want to make sure we get that clear, right? But your kids are a blessing mostly to you.
Oh.
To anybody else coming into the picture, they have to look at your kids as, can I love on them the same? Can I provide for them the same? Do I want to live in a house with 4 kids? You have a 1-year-old, you have a 4-year-old. Let's say he's a working man and he's tired. Does he want to come home with a crying baby? You know, does he want to adjust his...
That aren't his. Kids that aren't his.
Life and his in order to be with you and your children. These are some of the things that men have to think about when they are accepting a woman that comes with children. You also have 4 children by 4 different men. Does he want to do with your 4 baby daddies? Does he want to live in a house with a man and their child, and now this man got an issue how he's talking to your child? Is your child going to backtalk him and say, you're not my real daddy? You know, does he want to deal with all that?
He ain't got to deal with 4 of them. He ain't got to deal with none of them.
This is a sign of a desperate woman. That's desperation, right? That's a desperate answer. She just needs help. Come help me with these babies. If that's not a white flag, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is. There's nothing else to say about this. This is a trouble woman. And she'll do anything and everything to get someone to come take care of these 4 kids by 4 different baby daddies. That's how dysfunctional this is. And usually this is generational. This is not the first time this has happened. She's learned this from others in her life. We're going to end it right here. We're going into hour 3. Yes, we're going into hour 3 of this. So stay tuned to us here on IG. We're still going to go in on YouTube. The show ain't over yet. It gets more ludicrous by the day. And we start to see a little more enlightenment. Look at Kendra G's face. In terms of how Kevin Samuels was dealing with this subject. And she's starting to understand. It's starting to dawn on her. Come back to us in hour 3. Talk soon. We are back. We are live. We are live. Sorry about that, YouTube. We are going to continue this. There's nothing else to say about that one. That's a train wreck, and there's nothing else to say about that. So let's get back to the main part of the subject here. And yes, we'll continue with my man, Medium Man, and we're going to continue with that. Oh, my voice lost. Anyways, and we're going to continue on to hour 3 as we go on.
And that's the thing that a lot of single mothers miss. And Kendra G actually explained that to multiple women. If you guys notice, if you watch any of her recent shows, she's also starting to notice a trend where women are having sex without a relationship commitment. This is something that I told you guys in regards to my Sigma Gang videos. You guys were kind of questioning me like, man, what girls you be honest and you tell them that you don't want a relationship and they're willing to have sex with you without a commitment? Kendra G explained that to you multiple times because there are multiple women out there that have sex with no commitment.
Yep.
In particular, black women. I've dated white women. I've dated Hispanic women. I've dated women from Russia. I've dated women from Germany, so on and so forth. But in our community, our women place looks at the highest level to the point that a woman will know that a guy doesn't qualify in any other area. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have a place to live. He's, doesn't have a job. But if he meets the looks department, they'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to be in a relationship with you, but I'll have sex with you.
If he's broke, but he's gonna...
Only black women do that. I'm sure what. There are other races, of course, but the ones who are notorious for this, black women. They'll take a man who's broke, who may be a little unintelligent, if he's got the stroke game. Only black women will do that. Listen to the question here. Broke, good in bed. Listen.
Is that a deal breaker?
Wait.
He ain't got no money, but he know how to hit it. So it ain't...
Only black women can come at us and say, you may be broke, but if you can hit it right, I'll put you in. I'll take you in. Yeah. I'll take you in. I will be your shelter from the storm, as long as you can hit it right. So many men, and this has happened so many times, and we've shown this on Talk Live, of women who literally ended relationships because a guy couldn't hit it right. Literally, and I kid you not, it's our blessing and our curse. Black women are notorious for it. At any stage, at any time. Within reason, of course. Black women are notorious for putting out men who can't hit it. Ending relationships of men with men who can't hit it. It's terrible. But it's true. It is our cross to bear in our community. Hundreds of men who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of will be housed simply because they have good stroke game.
Ain't that much of a deal breaker.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not gonna go nowhere.
It don't go nowhere, but it's a good time, not a long time. Okay.
Now, you get a guy such as myself where I tell you straight up, I'm not looking for a relationship. I have a stable career. I'm in the top 1% in regards to my physique. Not a bad looking brother. I got my stuff together, got my own car, I got my own house. You put those things in one pot and you come to a woman and you say, I'm going to be honest with you. I am focused on my career. I'm not looking for a relationship. But if you want to chill and kick it, we can do that. How many women are going to turn down this situation?
Nope.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
I was very selfish on the dating market. I did not care. And I don't feel any remorse or regret in regards to what I did on the dating market because I was honest. My conscience is clear. I don't care about what a woman is saying in regards to I run a relationship now. But when I first met you, I told you I didn't want one. If that's a problem for you, you mad at me now, so what? Good day to you. Bye. It was nice chilling with you.
Medium man is not playing around, ladies and gentlemen. He is ruthless, and so you must be. Because women are ruthless with men in the dating market. Ruthless, especially the younger they are. So when a man has built himself to a certain level of manhood, guess what? He should be able to be ruthless too. He's been able to get himself his muscle game on. He's been able to get his finances on. He's been able to get his frame on. He's been able to get his game up. What's wrong with that? I am a stickler for said things myself. You have to be ruthless. Because of years of rejection, it teaches a man what is needed and not needed in the dating market. And if you don't learn, gentlemen, well, it's your fault. And Medium Man is totally right. He lays it out there. His conscience is clear. And if a woman wants to follow suit, so be it. But if not, we move forward. Somebody else is on the table because he's got his games on lock. And as he said, he's the universal. He's dated black. He's dated white. Dated Hispanic. Dated Chinese, Asian, all sorts of women because he has made himself universal. And that's what us men have to do. We have to make ourselves universal. You know where most of that universality comes from? It comes from the gym. Gym is a cheap way to make yourself as universal as possible. It's a cheap way to do it. The fitter you are, the better your chances are in the dating market. That's a guarantee. Because you can have all the money in the world, but guess what? A lot of ladies may take advantage of you. May simp you out. It's happened time and time again. But if you have your money and your muscle on point, chances are that doesn't happen. Chances are you can be with a woman at the going rate and not be asked to shell out more than enough in order to get them. Take it from me. Take it from me. If you're listening within my earshot, and I have people, I have friends who can prove it. And I'll say this. If a man had to spend more than $500, this is my rule. If a man had to spend more than $500 on a woman in order to obtain such sundry advantages, he spent too much. It shouldn't take that much. Because think about it this way. A lot of women have given it up for free to other men. So why are you spending over $500 on a woman? Think about it. You spent more than enough money on a woman, and women have the same woman has given it to somebody else for free. Why are you doing that? There must be something off with you. Because at the going rate, that's all you should spend. During these inflationary times. This is just my take. You don't have to take my word as gospel, but this is just my take. I have had experiences where I didn't have to spend a dime. Not one single solitary dime. Sometimes I just spend $20. I'm just giving you game and just giving you perspective. Sometimes it can be a little more expensive, yes. But there should be a limit. A limit in what you spend on a lady. And if women say, oh, I just want to get you, no, it's a game. They're running a game on you. It's a shell game. And you should realize that, gentlemen. And it's something that Kevin tried to teach as well. And something that Kendra G is starting to learn now. getting back to our subject matter tonight.
I don't care. I didn't look back and think, how does she feel about me just breaking, saying that I don't want a relationship even though we've been chilling for the past 6 months? Because I told you up front, if you didn't want to mess with me, you should have made the decision up front when I put the ball in your court. Some of y'all ain't got that gene in you. That's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing either, especially if you can't be honest. So let's continue with the video. And we're going to get more into this because I want to explain exactly how I think that men should run their dating market. And it starts with stop caring.
Move on to the other category of women that are on my show. The women like myself. I like to call us the boss chicks. We got our own money. We can pay for every single thing ourselves. So we just want a man that's...
The only thing is you can't have babies on your own. Kendra G's about 41 years old. So she's out of those prime years of fertility. Remember the Holy Trinity: youth, beauty, fertility. She's not young anymore. She's still good looking, but it's fertile? So what do you think Kendra G ranks in the dating market? Not highly. But don't tell her that. Don't you dare tell her that. She'll tell you something different. She'll have attitude for you to do it as well. But she needs help having these babies. That's one guarantee. Because she is about 41 years old. Just saying. Just literally saying. She's 41 years old. But she's a boss chick, right? Only boss chicks, and here's my estimation on things. Only boss chicks are those chicks who are of the right age, of the right fertility set, and of the right beauty. Those are boss chicks in the eyes of men. A woman will have a totally different range of possibility. Just because I earn money, that means makes me a boss chick. Well, you can be a boss chick in terms of the work world, but not in everywhere else. Not in relationships, you're not. You're not the boss then. Definitely not. Definitely, no. You're not the boss now. The men you want are the boss. Because they're the ones who have to choose you. They're the ones who have to choose you. So, yeah.
Are equal or higher, right? That is the goal. Well, here is the difference. The man that is our equal or higher has a lot of options, right? And he just wants something that's going to fit within his life.
No, we want boss chicks. We want the real boss chicks. The ones who are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. The ones who are fertile, youthful, and beautiful. Those are the boss chicks. Those are the real boss chicks. What you're purporting right now is an absolute fallacy. Fallacy. You're selling him a pipe dream. You're a snake oil salesman, Kendra G. Because no man is going to take what you're offering. Most men won't. Some men will. Let me say that. Let me correct myself. Some men will, but most men won't. The men you want won't. The high value men that you are totally focused on won't, because, as you say, they have choice. These men are looking for the Holy Trinity, which may not be at the forefront of your mind, but that are youthful, beautiful, and fertile, who can give them a family. Sometimes big, sometimes bald, but they are getting a family from that woman. And she's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Yes, the KS tenets to the modern female, the high value woman. Oh well.
Within my life, because I don't mind paying all the bills, because I got the money to pay all the bills, period. This man just wants a woman that's going to fit within his life. Are you available? Do you bring him peace of mind? Do you want to cook for him? Can you bear his children? Whatever is important to him, that's what he's going to be seeking. And the unfortunate reality, ladies, is he has a lot more options to choose from because there's a lot of women that want to be married and settle down and be in a relationship.
Let's go back. Kendra G, in one of her recent shows, she said that she does not know how to cook. And she falls into that boss chick category. She's not going to get on the men's program. And she also said to Kevin Samuels on that interview that she did with him, she said that she froze her eggs.
41 years old, married, any kids?
Nope, I froze my eggs up.
So hold on. Let's put this into context. I was wrong. She was 41 then. This is 2020 that she asked this interview with Kevin Samuels. So let's forward that 3 years. She froze her eggs then. She's 44 now. 44. 44 now. So that makes her even more ineligible for high value men. It's happened in my family, but listen, I have many friends, I have many family to whom fall into this category. They waited too long. They didn't get their man at their sexual peak or when they were in college, because remember, that's our college university, especially when they're getting education, when they are at their sexual peak because they wanted to show they didn't need a man. When every other race shows they do. And now she's scrambling. This is what they call the scramble. Kevin laid it out then. And as Mr. Media Man has already said, she don't cook, she don't clean, she doesn't have the soft skills, but she wanted to be treated like a high-value woman. Sorry, if you don't have the attributes of a high-value woman, guess what? You're going to be left on the sidelines languishing. Because you didn't learn the soft skills when you had the chance. Because the career is all important. That's the thing. That's the shining star. That is the North Star in the distance to modern women. When it should be family. When it should be a husband. When it should be generational love. But hey, who am I to say? In the gynocracy, all these words are worthless. Worthless. Worthless.
So I got a safety net just in case.
So, I mean, let's be real. You're freezing your eggs for a reason. Why?
I did. Because I didn't want the pressure to just go out and get pregnant because of my age and my clock. Men have that.
Who's going to carry the baby?
I mean, if I can't carry the baby, then I'll get a surrogate.
So, Kendra G is what, 43, 44 years old?
Yep.
So she was already prepping for the fact that she may not be able to bear children.
Oh.
She may get a surrogate mother to go ahead and have a child for her because she is getting up in age. And don't get me wrong, there's no issues with Kendra G, but she's just basically understanding and explaining to women like her that this is what you're facing. And it's funny that every time you mention...
And just letting you know how much a surrogate costs. Let's go there. Let's go there quite quickly. A surrogate. How much would a surrogate cost these days? Surrogate cost. How much would a surrogate cost these days? Now again, boss chicks. Boss chicks. Surrogates. They should be able to budget for such things, right? Because, you're earning all the money and you're getting all the praise. Wait a minute, what's that? Cass Forever says $50K? Thank you, Cass. I was about to search for it myself. $50K for a surrogate. Do you see what I mean when you should have held your fertility at the highest point as the North Star for you when you were younger, ladies who are 30 and 40? My sister had her kids when she was 26. Then she had it when she was 31. But she was fertile. She was young. She was fertile. She had her kids. Yes. Okay. Things fell dysfunctional, but she had her 2 kids. Bang, bang, done. For you career women, she was a career woman too. Remember now, she's a 6-figure earner, just like you. High value woman. But she got those kids out too sweet. My thinking is, where were you when you needed to be that much imperative about that? When Kevin Samuels was saying you were in the danger zone. Yes, that danger zone. And you needed to focus like a laser on the man you wanted, because if you didn't, you having children may not happen. As Cash Forever says, it takes $10,000 for IVF, $50,000 for a surrogate. 50 grand. That's a down payment on a house. Only women can be this delusional and think they can get away with it. Unbelievable. If this were in a man's hands, knowing these circumstances were in his hands, things will be handled a lot differently. Number one, you'll see a lot more babies out there. Because men treat children like they treat their shopping. They go in, they get what they want, and they get out. Women will dance around the mall and the aisles and such. Well, I need to look at this, and I need to see that, and I need to do this. And by that time, you spend all this money and all these things, you didn't get exactly what you want. While you had the time, the energy, the fertility, the youth, and the beauty, when you were at your sexual peak, you decided to chip it in because you wanted to show the world that you didn't need a man. Especially you black women, I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you. Right at you. Because that's what your college years are all about. Showing the world you don't need a man. Let's get back to Kendra. Thank you very much, Cash Forever, for that comment. That was beautiful. That was gorgeous. Shout out to you. Did I see you at Redemption? I'm thinking. Okay, maybe not. But let's go. Let us go.
You know, this whole boss chick situation.
Fair use.
Bring up Jay-Z and Beyonce. That is a one of one. Those are 2 billionaires pretty much. So it is very rare that you get a boss chick with that boss chick mentality to bring peace to a guy who has his stuff together. My woman is a career woman. I didn't want a woman who was going to sit on her ass because I'm not having...
Listen up, ladies.
She was not going to sit on her ass at home. And I wanted a woman who had her own stuff going for her so that can limit the fact that she's going to get bored by watching me do what I do. And she's sitting at home hating life because she's not going to have kids. And, and I'm sitting there working and bringing home the money, and all she got to do is sit at home. I made sure that I wanted a woman who had her own hobbies. She was in the gym. She had her own career, and she knew how to cook. And I was perfectly fine going through life without finding that combination of characteristics that I want in a woman. I did not go.
Listen to what he had to say, ladies. Listen to what he had to say. He wanted a woman who could cook, make a home, had her own interests, was in the gym, meaning, and I get this all the time, meaning she was driving herself to the gym, had her own regimen, did her own thing, without the provocation of a man. I'll say this. A woman who'll go nameless, but an ex of mine, was in the best shape, I would say, next of her in her 20s when she was with me. Because I insisted that she be in that gym and be fit. The moment she left me, she put on about 40, 50 pounds. Because I insisted on it. Now, most men would insist on it. So she has to have her own career, her own interests, be able to cook, clean, keep a home. That is the mandate for most women. If you can handle that, To most men, you're a high value woman. Then your definition of high value woman is not defined on your salary. It's defined on the soft, small scales, on the details. The devil's in the details. And once you master the details and master the small skills, you will be chosen. Because men can see. She's an indispensable part of my life. I don't want to lose her. She's made my life that much better. She's added to my status. Do I want to lose her? Hell no. At any age. But a lot of women think they're God's gift, and so they don't have to work on these certain things. Cass Forever says, as we age, we have to be in the gym. You're absolutely right. I think you had another comment here. If I had, yeah, there it is. If I had to do like Kevin when I was a teenager, yeah, you had to do, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry, it plays off the white. Sometimes I can't see the commentary, but yeah, I think a lot of black women regret, especially of the Gen X, because the baby boomers not so much. The Gen X forward, so the Gen X, the millennials, the zennials, they're starting to regret. Well, the zennials not so much, but the Gen X definitely regret not listening to Kevin. And definitely regret listening to Wait and Exhale. And definitely regret some of the images they saw on TV. Definitely regret The Color Purple. Definitely regret what movies and TV had to offer them at that time. Definitely regret it, because it made them, they gave this invincibility cloak that wasn't real. The Empress didn't have any clothes. And everybody saw it. All other races saw it. That's why they fetishized you. Said she's good for a night, but not for a long time. And only in your 40s and 50s do you realize, holy crap, I made a mistake. Cass Forever says here, if I had a brother like Kevin, I would have done things differently. Yeah. If you had a brother like me, you would have done things differently. Well, this is what I'm talking about now. See, now the dating market's for men. If you're in your 40s, if you're in your 50s, the dating market's for the male. It's for males everywhere, especially if you have your money on point, you have your time on point. If you have all these things, thank you to Cass Forever for the commentary. If you have all these things on point, I kid you not. This is, I'll speak from personal experience. This has been one of the best summers I've had in years. Seriously, it is. One of the best summers I've had in years. Why? Because the money was on point. My body was on point. If you saw me at Caravan a week, it was on point. The game was on point, and the frame was on point. It was all on point. And women realized that. They said, holy cow. Yeah, we can mess with you. Yeah, I know. I ain't saying that in Chad and Tyrone, but I come close. But Cass says, I always had old-fashioned values, but I didn't know how to choose the right man. This is where your father comes in. Your father should have done the vetting there, Cass. It should have been the father. Or a man in your life who knows what it is to be a high-value man. And knows what it is. Other races do this all the time. The Indian race does it all the time. The Chinese, the Asian race does it all the time. White guys do it. White families do it all the time. They let the fathers vet the romantic interest for their children. And just because they don't give you the feels doesn't mean that these aren't great providers. And that's why a lot of the great providers in your life are in your friend zone. You'll never pull them out. But if your followers in your life, you would have said, you know what? See that guy way down there that you don't really rate? That's the guy you should be with. Cass says, I've always been feminine and felt the man should be the head of the relationship. The Bible says so. And not this prosperity church that we have now that caters to women. The Bible literally says, under God is the man, woman, children. Says it. Don't tell feminists that. Don't tell the modern, ooh, she get chewed out for that. But then they end up alone. What are you going to do? Let's continue with this. Thank you for the commentary, Cass Forever.
On social media and complain. Oh man, I can't find a woman who has hobbies and knows how to cook. She loves to cook. She has her own career. Woe was me. I didn't do that. Because you know what was going to happen? I was going to get what I wanted. Either it was going to be in the States or it was going to be overseas. Luckily for me, I found a woman who loves to cook, and she's also a career woman. I did not care or think about ever going to social media.
Wait, media man. Do you mean that women can have it all? They can have a career, cook, clean, maintain a household, maintain their man, give man sex, sandwich silence? Do you mean a woman can do that? Come on. Seriously. Without having the gynocracy look down upon them? Seriously. No, that can't be true. You know modern women can't cook. Shouldn't be able to cook. Shouldn't be able to clean. Shouldn't be able to take care of their man. That's the man's job. Happy wife, happy life, right? Not happy king, happy kingdom. Or do we have that right?
Media and complaining. And I'm stressing this for a reason, because we are going to review a video where I was appalled at what I saw from this young man.
Very fair.
And I tell men this all the time. Don't ever go to social media looking for sympathy.
Nope.
Because you are not going to get it. In particular, from women.
Now, let's talk about where your power does lie. Women, you have a vagina. So, you are powerful, but you are misusing your vagina. You give it away all the time. You say you want to be a wife, but you give it out freely. This is what makes it special. Why should Ray Ray jump to the equation and become Prince Charming when you let Pookie have the vagina for chicken? Okay?
What did I say earlier? Men. Let this sink in. If you're spending $500 or more on a woman, you shouldn't be. Why? Because as Kendra G said right now, women will give it to a man for a 2-piece meal. Or less. Actually, for free. I've been there and done that. For free. It just happened to me just recently. Woman gave me a call up. We did have a little, chat, a little tete-a-tete. Over to the house. All for nothing. And she was about a good 15, 20 years my junior. Why? Because I looked the part. That's why. Let me get to this comment right here. I had my kids at 18 and 22, and I decided to focus on my career. I retired from a 6-figure government job in 7 years, but congratulations. Let me say that. Congratulations to you, Cass Forever. But you and I realize it took me years to find out my perfect match. Well, I'm glad you did. You're one of the lucky. I'll give you this. I want someone to just be my partner, be my man going forward, be my leader going forward. And he doesn't have to earn much. Just be that man. I will allow him to lead. It's not hard when they find children too. You're absolutely right. If they have kids and you have kids, and that's a perfect scenario. If they have kids, you have kids. You don't want kids of your own. Perfect match. I know of a few people who've done that. They may be older, but they said, listen, I'm done having kids. That's a perfect match for you. But are you going to be the fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive woman that he wants? Clearly you are. Because did I say any children in that little scenario? Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive? No. That's what Kevin taught us. Those are the tenets of Kevin's high-value woman. It's not your money. Even though you earn 6 figures, it's not your money. It is those 5 things, and those are free. And men can have kids at 80 years old. That's right. Women can't. As you said, $50,000 for a surrogate, $10,000 for IVF. Every shot. Lolo Jones is going through that right now. As beautiful as she is, she can't find a man. So she has to go through IVF treatment herself because she wants a kid. More and more women are having kids on their own. There is a shortage, and you know what? Here's the thing that I've learned today. There is a shortage of black male sperm out there for women to inhabit, especially for the alphabet gang. Because they said, it's the men who are on the down low. No, it's actually the women. And we showed that on Talk to Talk Live recently. It's women who are leading the way in terms of the alphabet gang sweepstakes. Most of them bisexual, just to show that they have a competitive advantage over their heterosexual female counterparts. How do I know this? You read enough, and these things come to pass. Reading is fundamental. It's not her money. No, it's not her money, because a woman's money will only be spent on who? And I'm sure this is for you, Cass, your children. It's never for your man. It'll never go to your man. Only maybe temporarily, but not for the most part. You won't literally support a man. Hell no. That ain't happening. Your money is your children's money, never your man's money. Men have to realize that. So that's why I say, if you're going to get into a relationship with a woman, you need to have your finances straight, number one. But number two, if it's a 50-50 split, 50-50 deal, you need to be on the upper end of the 50% if you're a man. Because women will use it against you, and those are the breaks. Anyways, let's continue.
You are mismanaging your power, which is your vagina. And your vagina should only go to the man that wants the things that you desire. If you want a relationship, I don't care if he's tall, dark, handsome, and has 6 figures. He should not get any of your time because he's not an option. He's not an option for what you desire.
So, that's the point that I was talking about and what I was discussing. She's not saying it, but in particular, she's talking to black women. I know black women. My preference is black women. I know.
So is mine, actually. I've never dated a white woman, just to let you know.
That sex means a lot to black women. So Kendra G telling our women to not have sex before a commitment is made, it goes in one ear and out the other. And I just discussed this. I literally got into a conversation with a young woman where she said the advice that I gave was contradicting itself. She said that I was telling single mothers to bring up relationship up front. I'm looking to get married. I'm looking to, find a husband that can care and support my kids. I want you to say it up front. Do you know women and men got mad at me by saying, why are you telling them to bring that up? Because I want women to disqualify men who are not serious. If you give up sex for nothing, what makes you think that this guy is going to have an epiphany and say that, you know what, I already got the sex, now I want to take care of your kids? No, that is very tough for our women to do. And like I said in my previous video, they don't listen. Kendra G is explaining that to a T. And when I clicked this video up, I'm going to do a compilation of every time in the past couple of months where Kendra G has asked these women, why'd you have sex with him before you had a commitment? Oh, I just wanted some. It's been a long time. You know, I want a relationship and he didn't. And Kendra G would ask her, why are you giving him sex if you don't want a relationship? I don't know. And these are older women, successful women, women who have careers, women who are attractive, some aren't. But I know how our women move. And that's why it benefited me on the dating market. It also benefited me on the dating market when I would date other races of women. When I dated white women, I dated white women from the gym. Because white women who go to the gym...
Okay, before we go to the gym, which is a good point. Before we go to the gym, it's true. Black women care about the feels and not the reals. So however they feel right then and there, and you know, I've taken advantage of this myself. Chances are, they want to get their needs satisfied, so they will not allow a man to wait. A lot of women, and again, as he said, most other women from other races do the same thing, especially if they're a mother, because again, you know, usually women hit their sexual peak at a later time. At a later time, in their 30s and into their 40s. That's when women start reaching their sexual peak. So their hormones are raging at that time. When they're younger, it's all about experience. When they're older, it's now their time to have a lot of sex. But it should be done under the guise of marriage. But with all these single women out there, and especially if they're single mothers, they're going to take it as they get it. So that leaves a whole lot of men to take advantage of their sexual urges. Unfortunately. But, or fortunately for us men. Hey, we can't hide it. Men think of sex all the time. And the fact of the matter is it's, you know, from a woman who is desperate to have some, quite easy. Young or old, especially black women, oh my goodness, where sex is paramount. Paramount. As I said, a woman will get down with a man who may be bad in all other metrics except stroke game. You can't say that of any other woman than black women. He may be broke, he may be destitute, he may be out of sorts, he may be the wrong fit in every capacity, in every metric. However, if he's got good stroke game, she'll deal with him for a while. She may have his kid. Just to not take the stroke game away. It's happened time in, time out in the Western world. Sorry, black ladies, this is your cross to bear. But let's get to the gym now.
Attracted to men who are in the gym, for the most part. I fit that demographic, so I became their exception. I know how the dating market is set up. It is set up for white men to win. They are pretty much the standard when it comes to dating. However, my goal, and what should be your goal too, gentlemen, even if you are a black man and you're not even thinking about dating outside your race, you need to be every race's exception. You need to make yourself attractive to all women, not just black women, all women, so you can date whoever the hell you want.
Well said. As I've tried to do. Well, again, I love black women, to be fair. But I make myself eligible for all others. By the way I look, the way I carry myself, the way I smell, the way I converse with women, my sense of humor, which is stellar, and by the way my muscle composition is. And usually, those in the gym are the ones that women like to date because they've kept themselves to a certain standard. So even if they may lack in the money department, they'll still get some, which is what men really want in the first place. A woman, was that a man will let a woman the way she lets him? A man will treat a woman the way she likes. I don't know about that. Maybe a bit different. Anyway, but that goes. It's going away from the point I was trying to make, and that is this. I prepared myself over 30 years for this time. I've been in the gym for 30 years. 30 years. That's the way. That way I have the Zimmer frame I have today, which is competitive at any age. So you can name a shot at any time. Because usually if you have if you got a paunch, if you have a little belly, if you got a little, if you're a skinny fat or you're fat in period, you'll repulse women. You will repulse them. And Kevin has always said that. Women will totally be repulsed by you, and then you really need your money to get over with them if they're to take you seriously in the first place. So this is where I'm speaking to men now. You need to be the best person possible. In fitness, in money, in game, in frame. You need to be the best person possible so that you can traverse all races. You are compatible for all of them. Usually it starts in the gym. He's absolutely right. Most interracial dating usually starts where? In the gym. I've said that for years now. Because there's one place that you will find white women and black men in the gym. Truth. Absolute truth. Now you start to see a lot more black. There's where I'm at, you start to see a lot more black women getting in there. Slowly but surely it's starting to happen. But for years, it was a no-go zone for a lot of black women. No-go. Women don't care if you have a little stomach. That's a little stomach. Do you care if you have a big stomach? Answer that question. If you have a big stomach, do women care? Chances are you do. Chances are you do. And what equalizes things in that capacity? Money. Cass, answer that question for me. Do women care about big stomachs? Big belly man, as we say in the Caribbean. Do you care about big belly man? Oh. Chances are no. Take it from me. Chances are no. That's why I run an hour every day. Because I know. Big belly men don't usually do well in the dating market. But small stomach men, especially of a certain age, yeah, you'll do okay. But if you have a 6-pack or a 4-pack, oh shoot. Stop the press. Now you're getting universal now. Now the rules don't apply to you. Let's continue.
I know that may sound harsh. Dr. Umar may say that I'm wrong for that, but you need to become every woman's exception.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the cool chip.
You know what? I usually don't date these type of guys, but you different. So I will win on the dating market by any means necessary. You guys need to develop that mindset instead of going out there and thinking that I'm going to just wait until I make money and then I'm going to start getting women. Why the hell would you want to rely on getting money when you're going to, reach your financial peak in your 40s when you could be getting women when you're younger if you got your ass in shape? Stop.
What did he just say? He just said I've been saying all night to men. Why would you wait until you make your money where you can get girls from when you're not making money until then by being in shape? And you know when I came to that realization, I was younger in England when I was studying out there. I realized that put on a little weight, started a little drought. I came back, started getting myself in shape. The drought started to slowly end to a point now there is no drought. Because now I've fashioned myself to a Zimmer frame that ladies like. So you're not usually on the shelf for long. As Cass already says, women don't like Big belly man. There it is. And what's the functional equivalent to eliminate a big belly man? This. Money. That erases all big belly man, but even then, do women really like you or your money? That's the key. They may sing about big belly man, but the women don't like big belly man.
Stop relying on money. That's not the end all be all. You need to hit all categories. And I know it kind of seems like I'm upset about this because I see this narrative on social media all the time, and it upsets me. When I see guys say, well, I'm going to just get money. It don't matter what you look like if you have money. Do you really think women who would potentially have sex with DJ Khaled, they would enjoy it? Y'all need to think about this stuff instead of sitting there, echoing these damn talking points by saying that I just need money and I get all the women I want. You can get women for the wrong reasons. What is getting women if there's no arousal there? If there's no passion?
If there's no arousal, if there's no passion, and as Cass forever says, a man always has to activate my mind first. And how is your mind activated? When you have a certain Zimmer frame. Women will start thinking sex with you. When you have a certain type. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a quick story. And this happened this summer. The lady will go nameless. But I was at Soca Brainwash this summer. And if you're at Soca Brainwash, shout out to you. But I was just reaching my Caravana peak at that time. Started to rain. So guess what a man did? Well, I didn't want my... I was too... I had so much drink in me. Although I could handle myself. I had so much drink in me. But I didn't want the shirt on me because it started to get irritable. So what did a man do? I didn't feel no ways. I took my shirt off. Took my shirt off. The woman that I was dancing with that night saw that and she was like, the mind was activated. Just like Cass said, the mind was activated. She started thinking about it. So you see, women have already, and we're going to teach another piece of game here. When women's minds are already activated on sexual contact, you don't have to spend a dime. Man, you don't have to spend one dime. And guess how much money I had to spend on that woman? Why? Because I was already what she wanted in terms of Zimmer frame. The muscle was there, the abs were there. I mean, it wasn't, 8-pack or anything, but, it was a good 4, bordering on 6. So what did the woman want to do? She wanted to come through. She wanted me to pull up, as the kids would say. And that's what a lot of men don't get. A lot of men don't get the fact that if you've activated that arousal part in their brain, you don't have to spend much, if anything. So that's why to all those men who have to spend $500 to $1,000 in order to even get a kiss on the cheek, there's a reason for that. You haven't activated a woman's sexual part in her brain. And part of that comes from you staying in shape. Because even though men are visual, women are visual as well. They're visual as well. But let's get back to it. I've gone off track for a bit there. I'm going to finish this up. Kendra G is starting to realize that they're not thinking sex first. No, I get it. They're not thinking sex first, but I was dealing with a young woman here, so, a few words said. There's a lot of steps that goes into this, but you're right, Cass. Women aren't thinking sex first, but you got to activate that part of the brain, and that comes from chat. Men don't have the gift of gab. See, this is what I'm saying. Men don't have the gift of gab to bring women there. There is a point where men have to bring women to that conclusion. That comes from chat. A lot of men don't have chat. They need to get chat. That's what's called game. That's the game part. But that is another story. What we're going to do right now, but thank you very much for your comments there, Cass. There's a lot more steps to go into it, absolutely. But that's the key. You see, that's what I'm saying. They're not like the women you describe, but again, the women that you're describing, the women that you know have been to the rodeo, have the t-shirts, so, you know, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, back to it. Kendra G started to realize that Kevin Samuels was right all along. She won't admit it, but he was onto something. And she finally got it after 3 years of hosting a dating show. She couldn't take the man's word at face value because, again, that's not the way of the gynocracy. You can't take a man's word at face value. Deny at all costs. Until a woman proves it. Then you take the man's word for it. And she had to be it had to be proven to herself before it dawned on her. And it finally dawned on her that Kevin was right all along, though she won't admit it. But he was right all along. Guess what she caught for acknowledging tacitly Kevin was right. She was vilified. She was pilloried in the comments. Look it up. They did not like Kendra G after she came to that conclusion, because that goes against the girl code.
In there, she's just doing it because you have money and you cashing her out. That's stupid. Let's continue.
Now, I hear you ladies, because you'll say, well, Kendra, yeah, there's a lot of vagina out there, but there's not a lot of meat. I'm different. And you know what, girlfriend, I agree with that. I do agree that every woman is not equal, and some women, just like men, weigh differently. But guess what? You're not acting different, okay? You're not acting different. You're acting like every woman. So when you come and tell the guy what you're about, I only have sex when I'm in relationships. And then after a month, he didn't give you a relationship, and you still have sex with him, your words are now null and void. He now knows, okay, I heard what she said, but her actions did not align with her words. And you think, well, Kendra, I made him wait a month. Girl, you made him wait a month for you. During that month, while you making him wait, he was just getting his shit off with some other girl, okay? You're not running the game. If you do not stand by your words, then you...
Men aren't running the game? Really?
You become like every other woman. So yes, ladies, this is what I have learned from hosting a dating show for the last 3 years. So I know it's all about Kendra telling me to settle. I'm not telling you to settle. I'm telling you to focus on the man that deserves you. And that should be based on character more than characteristics, outwardly characteristics. And time and age will teach you that.
All right.
Time and age will teach you that. Guess who taught her that? Years ago. Kevin did. Kevin told her from 16 to 24, ladies run the dating market. Kevin told her from 16 to 26. 16 to 26 women run the dating market. For 27 to 35, they must focus like a later on what they want. And from 35 onwards, they're in no man's land. She got offended to that because she was part of no man's land. And now she gets it. We're going to finish up the show in a second. Come back to us. We're going to finish up. We finished up hour 3, I think. So we're going to just finish up right here. So come on back in a minute. All right. We're going to get out here, discard. We are back here on Talk Talk Live. We're finishing up. with the Kevin Samuels, Curtis and the Tractors show. It was a long one, but we had to get it in because we're back on IG. So we're just going to finish up the show right now. Here's the thing, ladies. Here's the thing, gentlemen. I think this is a well-balanced show. I think this is a show that allowed for not only for men to straighten up, but for women to do so. And men need to be the best person possible. Women need to be a little more level-headed in their dating outlook. Women need to understand that there's only a finite amount of time in which they are running the dating market. That's what Kevin taught all along. And if you are outside of that, if you're in that 35 and older market, don't be surprised if you are not wanted by men, especially high-value men. Because men feature youth, beauty, and fertility. That's something that Kendra G failed to remember, and that's something that Rebecca Lynn Pope only learned because she was married all along. Remember that. She only learned. She was one of the few that actually took Kevin's advice. Got married early, stayed married, got herself out of the game. Kendra's still in the game. Now she got to deal with $50,000 surrogacy and $10,000 IVF if she wants a kid. So thank goodness she has a dating channel that's actually working. Men who want have children don't want fertility. You're absolutely right, but a lot of men do. Men want legacy. And if men don't have legacy, they want legacy, so they want fertility. But if you already have legacy, then the choice is yours. Absolutely. As a man. But what Rebecca Lynn Pope and what Kendra G understood now more than ever is that women, especially in the dating market, are as delusional as Kevin said they were. They are worse off than their mothers and grandmothers. They are the most, especially black women, they are at their fattest in human history. And their expectations are out of control. Even if you have children by many fathers. And it is something that women have to level set with. They have to get real with. Because if they don't, chances are there's a price to pay, or they'll be left holding a cat and wine. As for men, as been pointed out by Media Man, men need to be ruthless in the dating market because women have already are, and they were shown that when they were younger, when women ran the dating market. They were ruthless. They were ruthless. And now that men are running the market, especially if they have done the work, they can afford to be ruthless as well because they have choice. So, if they keep their nose clean and make the right decisions, then they should be able to run the dating market into their later years. Yes. And if they keep themselves fit, keep their money up, learn game and hold frame, they should be fine. And become high-value men themselves. Then you have the pick of the litter. No matter what age. See Tom Brady, for instance. Wife left him. He's offered a $350 million contract to be a broadcaster. Guess what's happening? Women half of his age are chomping at the bit to be with him. Because he's athletic good looks, rugged good looks, and makes a mint. Leonardo DiCaprio, same thing. He runs game as such. So it's up to you, gentlemen, to be, as Media Man said, universal. Be the exception. Let any woman of any race take you on, depending on your preference. Simply because your body says so, your money says so, your game says so, and your frame says so. So you can't be taken advantage of. You are still at a peak level in terms of sexual attraction. The only way that happens is if you get your money up and your body up. Then you are not taken advantage of. As for you ladies, you have to level set yourself because the competition is out there and more men are getting wiser. They're starting to see their worth and they're not taking simple reasons for an answer. There are simps out there, yes, of course, but for the most part, a lot of men are starting to learn. I was in the gym today. It is packed these days with men trying to improve themselves. Why? Because they have the Andrew Tate ideal ringing in their ears. But I knew that. I was ahead of the curve then. Still ahead of the curve now. But the result, the whole conclusion of this show is that black women, especially black women in the YouTube space, are finally starting to realize what Kevin said all along. The winter is coming. The dating market is not in your favor forever. And unless you change your ways, you will be single, with child or without. And the attitudes must change in order for you to gain the true benefit of it. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to ask you a few questions. A lot of older women do look better than younger women, but here's the Holy Trinity in terms of things. Thank you very much for your comment, Cass. Here's the Holy Trinity when it comes to men. Women must be young, fertile, and beautiful. That's the height. That's the apex of a high-value woman to a man. Taking it from a male point of view. Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Youthful, beautiful, fertile. You have all these things, you tend to run the dating market in terms of men. You can deny it all you want, Cass, but I'm just telling you what men like. Again, I totally take your point. You have been within the echo chamber of ladies who tell you different. But this is what I'm telling you from a male's point of view. This is what men want. You can say no. It's not about... See, men with... Here's the thing. And I'll end it with this point. Men with children make up about 30 to 40% of all men. Right? 30 to 40% of all men have children. Make children in this world. There are more women who make babies than men. It's been like that from time immemorial. So, the majority of men would like to be like the minority of men. And that's where the youth, beauty, and fertility come in. Because men can start having babies when they're in their teens. It's not exactly advantageous, but yes. But, see, you're looking at it from a gaze of your point of view. Take yourself out of that mindset and look at all men. Not just older men, all men. And you'll see a difference. These are men that you have met, not all men. This is where critical thinking comes in. Take yourself out of your prism and think of all men now. What do all men want? All men want youth, beauty, fertility at any age. You can be, I'll give it 21. You can be 61. You can be 71, 81. If you ask 100 men, and I'm getting into my Myron here. If you asked 100 men what men would favor most, guaranteed they're looking for youth, beauty, fertility. Guaranteed. That's why I'm telling you the male point of view. For all men. Not just women you know. Not the men you know. All men. This is where no. Cass, here's the deal. As much as you would like to think that men don't think about fertility, men want to leave a legacy. Men want to leave a legacy. And how is a legacy left? No, it's not some, it's all. It's most, it's all. I'm telling you this right now. It's most men. There are men, indeed, who would rather not have kids. But most men want to have kids. If they can afford it, they would do it. They would. They would. Most men want children. There are men who don't want kids, yes, of course. But most men want kids. That's where the youth, beauty, fertility, Holy Trinity comes in. Most men want children. Most men can have children now. Because women have been are so discerning, especially in the modern day, especially in the Western world, where most men are ruled out off rip because 80% of men, women don't find attractive. You got to get yourself out of your headspace there, Cass. You really do. You got to think of all men here. You got to think of all men. Yes, there are certain men who've already had kids who don't want kids. There are other men who don't want kids, period. But most men want children. They want a legacy left for themselves. They want to bring their genes to the next generation. You got to get yourself out of that headspace there. Minority of men have kids or don't want kids. Most men do. That's why I'm taking you from a male point of view. But anyways, we're going to leave it there. I thank you, Cass, for your questions. I thank you guys for your commentary. And we're going to leave it there. I'm glad that Kendra G and Rebecca Lynn Pope have seen the light. They've finally seen the light. They finally see what Kevin has been speaking of all along. And that is that modern women need to shape up. They do, because other races are starting to come for men, especially black ones. Because, as has already been said by myself on Talk Live, after white guys, the next most in-demand men on dating apps are black ones. They're coming for us. They're studying our ways. They're studying our food. They're coming for us. Thank you, Cass. They're coming for us. And it's up to you to measure up or remove yourself from the market. But things are changing, and women have made that change. Women have created this. Issue in terms of men. They've created it. Where men have had to adapt and change and learn game and hold frame and gain more muscle and do all these things. And for those who don't, they'll be left by the wayside because women have said so. So I'm glad women like Kendra G and women like Rebecca Lynn Pope are starting to, as much flack as they're getting from black women, are starting to let women know that their outlook definitely is not to their benefit. Thank you very much for Talk Live. And that Kevin was indeed right all along. R.I.P. Godfather. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. We are done for tonight. It was a long show, but it was a good show. It was something that had to be had, and it had a little debate on there, and that we really went in on a few of Kevin Samuels, Critics and Detractors, and I'm glad we did that. Tomorrow night, we are going in on Brittany Renner. She went absolutely mad on a recent podcast. We're going to analyze that step by step and how fellow content creators are, well, seeing this as a bit of a meltdown. Tomorrow night on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Fall winter line out now, and it is banging, people. It is banging. So go and look out for that tonight on Talk Talk Live on Duntalk.com, DUNTALK.com. Sponsored by, he sponsors us here as the official clothier of Talk Talk Live. So thank you very much for joining me, and we're going to get out of our way. Thank you to Chissa Zed. Thank you to Media Man for supplying the images. Fair use, fair use, fair use. But I tell you something, they're doing great things in the YouTube street. So like, subscribe, comment. We're going to get out of here. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow night with some Brittany Renner. Look forward to the promos that'll be put out sometime tomorrow. Thank you very much. And please, if you talk, walk the walk. Good night from Toronto. And to our YouTube viewers, let me get back here. Have a little more of an extended view with you here, and that is this. Again, women, you've heard from your representatives, dating representatives, those who are in the field, those who will give a high account for their activities. And let me say this, you are in need of interventions. You need that therapy. You need that dating coach. You need that image consultant. You need that matchmaker, as Kevin said all along, because it is highly imperative. If you look at what Brittany Renner had to run through, what she put herself through in order to gain that high value man, and at the end of the day didn't get one, it was all too clear. And what Kevin said all along was absolutely right. And I repeat, and I'm glad that Kendra G and Rebecca Lynn Pope, to the righteous indignation of the gynocracy, especially within the black female spaces, they finally came to the conclusion that Kevin was right all along. Kevin had let them know 3 years previous, and it took 3 years for them to get to this level. Sometimes those who don't learn must feel, and they felt it, and they're feeling it now, and I'm hopeful that a lot more women come to that conclusion themselves. And I thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live tonight. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. We're going to get out of here. It is 3 hours into the show, but we're going to go. And I thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Brittany Renner. Oh, I'll tell you something to see. We'll talk soon.